Oh, yes. Ain't nothing like a football Monday, and we appreciate everybody coming aboard. Thank you guys so much. Here on the National Football Show, I hope everybody had a great holiday weekend. Please hit that like button. Thank you guys for checking us out and picking us over many of those awful shows in Philly and around the country. We appreciate it. Hit the like button. First 15 minutes are one of the most important. We appreciate it. We have a ton of stuff to hit on today. Again, college and pro football over the weekend was awesome during the holidays. Really, tonight's game between the Niners and Lions really doesn't matter any longer because the Eagles lost out because of the Washington loss. They lost out on their opportunity. And one of my mandates, checked, you did not fulfill, was lost in that Commanders loss. Okay? It was lost. You have no shot at securing home field with the regular season. Now, there's still a chance the number one seed could get upset in the playoffs and you host it at Lincoln Financial. So that's not out of the realm of possibility that could still happen, that you get home field advantage. So there's still a shot at that, but there's a zero shot of you hosting the NFC Championship game as of right now. You have to have things work out for you. So please hit that like button like we said. College football had some noise over the weekend. Obviously, a complete football game was played by the Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to tell you flat out of the gate, the most delusional person in the history of Cowboy Nation is that overrated pass rusher in Micah Parsons. This guy says it was a few plays, and it was a pretty competitive game. I don't know what fucking game he was watching, but that team got destroyed yesterday. That was maybe one of the worst ass beatings in Cowboy history. They were taken apart by a second and third team quarterback and a sensational offensive line and a much improved defense that's the best unit in pro football right now. They were absolutely murdered. That thing was never in doubt. It was never in doubt. And this guy's going around telling, you know what? Seriously, you know that podcast that Micah Parsons does? That thing called like The Edge? It should be Fantasyland. Fantasyland. Hosted by Missing Parsons. The guy had 2 tackles. I didn't even know he fucking played. The only thing I do know he did was he put a shot on Kenny Pickett, and then the other guy came in and did just as good a job. Holy shit, the Cowboys are awful. Okay? They are awful. And I don't care if you put all your players back on the field. They're 5 years away from being a Super Bowl contending team. Holy shit, man. That guy he is delusional. Just like he thinks of himself. He is delusional and overrated in my opinion. Holy shit, man. Unbelievable. How you doing, Kenny Slingett and Tanner Dancer? McKee, happy holidays, Big Sills. Best show in Philly on YouTube. Love you, Big Z. Big Sills, fly, Eagles fly. Absolutely, man. James Jones. Woo! Baby Jaden Daniels. Best quarterback in the NFC East. And it ain't close. Was he sensational last night? Hey, guess what, James? You know, I predicted the Washington Commanders would win, the NFC East. And people are like, how about that prediction, Sills? Yeah, I know. Really only 2 wins difference between the Commanders and the Eagles. And by the way, he's the only guy really in that huddle outside of Terry McLaurin. And I'll tell you this, too. He is 1-1 versus Philly this year. Congratulations to you, Jaden Daniels. You are a fucking star. How you doing? Woo! Was that guy great last night? Oh, by the way, me and Xander had a little conversation. I got to say something to you about A.J. Brown. This dude knows what he's doing in the media. So he tells a national NFL guy on the field about Saquon Barkley. By the way, congratulations getting 2K. 9th player ever in pro football history to get to 2K. We'll talk about that here in a minute. By the way, all super chats go to the top. Please, by the way, hit that like button for us. Want to have a big day today. Thank you guys so much. He tells the national guy, yeah, let's just rest up. Let's just rest up and, hey, man, let's just get ourselves ready for the wild card round that they're going to have to play. Okay? You're going to have to play the wild card round. Yeah, let's just rest up. Then he goes in, and the local idiots in Philly that covered the team outside of John McMullen, that covered the team, asked the question, yeah, man, I like to go along with the guy. Let's go for the ride. I can promise you fucking this. If this guy was chasing Calvin Johnson's all-time single-season yardage number down, this guy would be telling everyone to play. This is the same guy who cries and bitches and moans about targets. You don't think he would want to play if there wasn't a record on the line for him, NFL-wise? You know he would. Hey, if it has nothing to do with AJ, I don't want to fucking play. Hey, I don't want to play this weekend. Leave it in the hands of the coaches. But if this guy was chasing Megatron's number down for 1935 or whatever it is, AJ'd be going, I'm playing. I don't care if Kenny Pickett is out there. I want to play. I want to get the record because that's what this guy's is. Hey, by the way, he's a great player. But stop with your bullshit. You can't pull that over on Big Sills. How you doing? You can't fool me. One of the best shit talkers in history. You can't do that. I know the game. He tells the national guy, yeah, let's just rest up and get ready for the playoffs. How you doing? Then he tells one of the local fish, hey, man, I want to be out there with them. Make sure you tell the fans that because I don't want them on my ass in Philly. How you doing? Holy shit. This guy, this guy's like bipolar. I can't tell what's going on. He's totally bipolar. 1 minute he's like, hey, I need my rest. I need my cat sleep and I need my beauty sleep for the upcoming wild card game, most likely Green Bay. How you doing? And then he walks in and he sees the local hams and he goes, hey, I want to be there for my guy. Like, what the fuck is this guy? 1 minute he's over here. This guy must be a great date. This guy goes to the toilet. He comes back. He's a different dude. Holy shit. I promise you, if it had anything to do with him, he'd be like, I want to play, man. This is about A.J. Brown here. How you doing? Oh, man. Go get him, A.J. How you doing? Jesus Christ. I can't tell which is true. What's the truth? He wants to play or he doesn't want to play? Or is he going to leave it up to old Nicky? But what's the truth? Yeah, really, like A.J. Brown's like the Joker. I don't know what the fuck to believe. Who is this guy? Yeah, so, we need our rest. 2 minutes later, the guy's in the locker room going, I'm going to be out there for my guy. My guy. He's my guy. What the fuck? Jordan Mailata wants the record. We'll talk more about that here in a minute here. But again, it was an ass beating. Congratulations. It was really an ass beating. The Dallas Cowboys were never in that ball game. In spite of what Micah Parsons thinks, they were never in it. They took them completely apart. I'm going to give you my takeaways. We'll do game balls and also go by the numbers, but I got to start it out with this. Come on, Eagle fans. You need an upgrade of a passer in that offense. Let me ask you this. And with all the hyperbole, do you really think Jalen Hurts utilizes all the assets in his huddle to the best of their ability? Let's just be fair. All the kidding aside, do you think this guy utilizes all of the assets in his offensive huddle? Hey, by the way, the wins, I show you a guy who's a backup fourth-team guy and Sam Darnold. I could put Sam Darnold in that offense in Philly and get the same result, if not better. Now, look, Jalen's a good player. This is kind of an interesting topic because he's a good player. He's not a bad player. Okay? Dude, they made a trade for Jahan Dotson, and they didn't even use him all year long. Can somebody tell me this? How many catches did that guy end up with this year in Philly? Dude, that guy Olamide up in Washington is a better ball player. The guy the Eagles had and let go, and then the Eagles turn around and give a third rounder up. I've been saying it all year. This guy Dotson sucks. James Jones is trying to tell you that. So wait a minute. Dotson's got 12 fucking catches. Quez Watkins was better. Quez Watkins was better. That's terrible, man. Brian Pumper, our boy. Good afternoon, everyone. The Eagles, and especially Tanner Delphia. My king has risen. QB1 has come to fruition. The Jalenites can eat shit. I mean dirt. Sorry, Pumper. There you go, buddy. Thank you, my friend. Do you really believe? I'm going to show you something here. I wrote these names down. Here are guys. Okay? Here are guys that had better years this year in 2024 with lesser talent than Jalen Hurts. My birthday's on Sunday, the day Saquon Barkley can break the record. That'll be a great birthday gift. And we are shit on the Giants owners. Hey, John Mara's got to be dying. Hey, Lord's Grace, your birthday's Sunday, mine's Friday. How you doing? All right. So here are the quarterbacks just in the NFC that could be better than what you're doing in your passing game. By the way, I thought that was more of a balanced attack than any other game you've played this year, maybe outside. No, because Pittsburgh, they didn't run the ball all that much. Mike Tomlin did a great job of stopping the run. And by the way, what was the most important thing also that happened in that game against Dallas? There were no sacks. There were no sacks in that game. Look at these guys. Baker Mayfield, 4,279 yards and 39 touchdowns, 69.8 completion percentage, 107.6 rating. Baker Mayfield, how many teams has he been on? Cleveland, Carolina, the Rams, and now the Bucs. This is 14 he's been on. Okay. Sam Darnold, 4,153, 35 TDs, 68.1 completion percentage, 106.4 is his rating. How many teams has he been on? Let's see. Carolina, the Jets, San Francisco, and now Minnesota. 4. What the hell did Jalen do to your sills to receive this hate? Bumper, you're going to need new knee pads soon. Not hate. I'm talking, hey, dude, liking Jalen Hurts or not as a human has fucking nothing to do with my conversation. I could care less about the guy. I don't care what kind of good guy he is. I'm talking about being a proficient football player. And giving and using all the tools you have in your huddle. I don't give a fuck what kind of good guy he is. Good guy, bad guy, I don't care. That's nothing to do with the evaluation of how you look at a player. His color, his being a good guy, I could care less if he's a community guy. Now, if he happens to be, that's a cherry on top. That's great. My number one thing is to make sure that I have a quarterback in the huddle that can use every single asset I have to win games and not be a liability. He was a liability at Alabama. And that's always been the case. It's never escaped him. He was a liability at Alabama. How's that for you? Total liability. Here's a guy that was the SEC Player of the Year, lost two ball games. 2 ball games. They said he's not good enough. But he's good enough in Philly. Oh, okay. He wasn't good enough at Oklahoma. Would they win? I must have missed that. By the way, all these championship rings that Hurts has supposedly won, where are they? I haven't seen them. I'll tell you what he does do, man. He takes you right to the gate, and then there's nothing. He's got nothing to show for it. Ton of wins, no doubt. He's been at Alabama and Philly. Hey, good for you. Good for you. He has nothing to show for it. There is nothing he's accomplished when it comes to winning championships. Now, look, hey, if you want to compare him to Kyler Murray and some of these other guys, that's fine. But if you want to compare him to the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, including Josh Allen, that dude's got to win. Josh Allen has to win. Joe Burrow has to win to validate it all. Or you know what you'll be? Hey, you know why Eli Manning's going to the Hall of Fame? Eli Manning's going to the Hall of Fame because he won 2 Super Bowls with 2 Super Bowl MVPs. If you take that fucking away from him, he's not a Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer. Real Hurts comes out when AJ's hurt. Dude, Jalen Hurts is a good ball player. No one's debating that. I don't want good. I want to have a guy in there that can utilize all the assets I have. By the way, this is the worst year in his passing career as an NFL player. It's the worst. That thing was proficient yesterday. Dude, I think you can get any one of these quarterbacks to go in there and do the same shit he's doing, if not better. Watching the game yesterday, I forgot we didn't have our starting quarterback. The game was actually more appetizing to the eyes. Tanner McKee is my religion. Pumper, I'll throw something else at you. Okay? People go, well, it's the shitty Cowboys. What about the shitty Carolina game where he threw for 108? And was a non-factor in that game. Oh, with his legs he was. No one's ever debated that. Here, let me show you this. Look at Geno Smith here. 4,097. Now, look, you know what all these guys don't have? These guys don't have Howie Roseman. They don't have Howie Roseman. Best QB in the division plays in D.C. That ain't a debate anymore. That ain't a debate. Dude, Geno Smith, these are quarterbacks. By the way, every one of these quarterbacks outside of Goff and Stafford and Daniels, I'm not a fan of. I'm not really that much of a fan of Jared Goff. Here, let me go here. Geno freaking Smith, 4,097, 17 TDs, 70% completion percentage, 90 quarterback rating in Seattle on the limited football team. He doesn't have Howie Roseman. Look at Jared Goff. 4,095, 33 touchdowns, 71.4 completion percentage, 112.2. This guy's been to 2 NFC title games, and he's won one. He's been to a Super Bowl. Albeit he's in the 5-hole now, and that's a big game against Minnesota this weekend because it's for home field advantage, and you don't have to play in that wild card round. But, I mean, Goff's had a sensational season, and he's on team number 2. Interesting takes from yesterday. Everyone's saying Jalen is a better quarterback, but not a better passer, which is true, than Pickett and McKee. I would see that passing is a huge part of being the quarterback. The league has made it that way, my friend. Dude, if the league hasn't done all these rules and made the wide receiver position bigger than the running back position, I'd say this. I don't really care about that. I don't really care. But you got to take advantage of the NFL of today. The Eagles play an offense that's from 1990. You don't utilize the NFL passing rules because you don't have an NFL passer. The kid in DC ain't done shit. You guys are more. What a fucking idiot. The guy's a rookie. He beat your football team, and he's on his way to having an incredible rookie season, and he carried the team on his back. Washington hasn't been relevant in 24 years because of a non-quarterback. What an asshole comment. I mean, honestly. Here, look at here's Jaden Daniels. 3,530, 25 TDs, 69 quarterback, and 101.2. This guy has had a better season than Hurts by far. Matthew Stafford, I'm not even going to go. Here's Hurts' numbers. He's probably not going to play this weekend. A $50 million guy with $51 million in receivers and $15 million in a tight end. Threw for 29.03, 18 touchdowns in 15 games. This guy's not a great passer, and he'll never be. This is year 5. This is year 5. He'll never be an elite passer. Ever. It's 5 years in. You know what it is. Hey, by the way, some are going like this probably. Sills is going off of one game. No. I'm showing you how easy it is when you watch a guy like Darnold and Mayfield. I'm not even comparing him to Allen and the rest of these guys. There's 2 significant things that Jalen Hurts has had in his career. What are they? Tell me what the 2 most significant things or people that Jalen Hurts has had in his career. As you tell me, there's 2 people that he has had. 2 people that he's had. You're getting closer, Mix. There's 2 people that he has had that have been significant in his win total. Because outside of his win total, okay, there was an amazing balance running and passing offense last week, Sills. Saquon had 100 yards in the first quarter. No question about it. I appreciate it. Hey, Sills, what part of the game am I missing when people say Jalen is a better quarterback than the other 2? Is it just athleticism and reps? Jalen's a better athlete by far than those 2 dudes. But he's not a better quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is a better athlete than Tom Brady. He's not a better quarterback. Here's the 2 most important people that Jalen Hurts has had in his career. You know what it is? Nick Saban and Howie Roseman. Because Nick's like a GM when he was at Alabama. Your favorite topic, ragging on Hurts every day. No, I'm talking about the game I watched yesterday. You're an asshole. The DC kid ain't even played a year yet. Hey, guess what? Your guy played 1 season. You gave him $50 million. I love you too, Marshall. Hey, man, you and me at a bar. It's all good. You know, hey, great respect for you. Thank you very much, my friend. All good all day, man. Thank you very much. You know that, Marshall. You gave a guy $50 million after 1 year. What are you talking about? Okay, you gave that guy $50 million after 1 season. I'm just making a point to you here. Again, he's a good ball player. But the 2 most significant things that Jalen has had in his career, and by the way, well done, Jalen. Jalen Hurts didn't go to the Jets like Sam Darnold with shitty coaching and city management and shitty ownership. Get this. All the things that Sam Darnold had in New York is the direct opposite on what Patrick Mahomes has in Kansas City. Great ownership, great GM, great head coach, play calling, and a great D coordinator. Darnold never had any of that. Then he goes where? The fucking Carolina with David Tepper. David Tepper can't keep his temper, let alone a coach on his staff. Then he goes to San Francisco, and you know what Kyle Shanahan saw? Niner all day, help me out. You know what the coach said in San? This guy's good. But they had committed to Purdy. And they kept going like this. This guy's good. No, you're wrong. This guy, Sam Darnold's good. Remember him saying that a year ago? This guy's good. There's something about this guy. Then Kevin O'Connell gets him up in Minnesota and coaches the shit football out of him. Dude, what did he go? 377 yesterday against Green Bay? He looked 10 times better than Hurts against Green Bay. 3 touchdowns, fucking looked insane great. That guy was so good against Green Bay. I couldn't believe that was Sam Darnold. New York Jets, Sam Darnold? You got to be kidding me. I can't believe. Do you understand the New York Jets and the New York Giants? Because of their shitty picks at the quarterback position, they're in in the top 10 picks in April because they missed on Daniel Jones and they missed on Sam Darnold. Then they turned around and they went for the BYU loser. Mom's hot. Give her that. I mean, but he sucked too. Think Hurts carries current Washington roster to the playoffs? Hell no. The Eagles' current Washington roster to the playoffs? Hell no. The Eagles lose to Tampa this season at an Eagle roster equal to what Washington starts. Gunner, I'll say this. Jalen Hurts is a good football player. I'm not saying he's not. He's just not good enough for what you're building. Dude, let me say this to you. Hey, Gunner, if Jalen Hurts played in a system like Baltimore, okay, where they don't go three wide and they go fullback and they have a running back and an O-line, he would prosper in Baltimore under Todd Monken. Even more so, and I'm talking playoff prosper, not just fucking regular season bullshit. I'm talking about, and by the way, not just bullshit, that's important. But he would play better in the postseason because that'd be set up more for what they're doing in Philly. Dude, Kellen Moore called a great game yesterday because he had two players that fit his style of play calling. It was evident. I mean, it was smooth. Some are going to go like this. Sills, there was only 19 attempts. Those 19 attempts resulted in 200 yards passing and 3 TD passes between the two dudes. Dallas was on their heels the entire football game. Here's what you get when you have Jalen Hurts as your quarterback. You're either going to run it or you're either going to pass it. You're not doing both. You're not doing both. In that game yesterday, you did both, and it was seamless. Because why? Now, Sills, would you want to take away the element that helps the run game? The problem that I've been telling you all last week, it's taking its toll on those wideouts. Look again here. This is nothing personal. Some of you guys, and again, when you start making sense, you start dropping nonsense. Okay? By the way, you're not winning a fucking Super Bowl. You're not winning a Super Bowl with that style. You're not. Dude, you had the better football team in the Super Bowl. Your quarterback played as well as he possibly could, and it wasn't good enough. Then he turned around, the Kansas City guy, and what did he do? He beat another great roster. Dude, I'll take a great quarterback over a great roster any fucking day. Look at Josh Allen. Buffalo put $70 million of their cap on the street, and they're still 13-2. Why? Because of the QB. Could you imagine doing this? Taking away Slay, Sweat, one of the receivers, and one of the O-line to get under $65 million in your cap. Taking Lane Johnson away. And still being 14-3. Never happened. Never happened. Okay? Sills, you know we beat the Cowboys 34-6 and benched our starters. And hey, I'll tell you what I'll say to you is this. If you think that what you watched this year was good passing and good balance in your football team, and you hired the right coordinator and you improved Hurts as a passer, Brian Johnson did more a year ago to improve Jalen Hurts as a passer, even with the turnovers, than anything Kellen Moore did this year. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Did Kellen Moore improve Jalen Hurts this year? Is absolutely not. And you know what you're going to say? Well, we hung with the running game. Why couldn't you do both? Because the quarterback was not capable of it. The quarterback's capable in Buffalo. The quarterback's capable in Detroit. The quarterback's capable in Green Bay. The quarterback's capable in Baltimore. Why not Philly? Why not Philly? How about Baker Mayfield? Seal's question, do you think Mayfield and Darnold turnaround is due to finally understanding how to play the quarterback spot in the NFL, or is it working with a staff that understands their strengths and weaknesses? I think you got two things that you're talking about here. You've got Kevin O'Connell that's up there in Minnesota, and I think they got a great front office up there now. And then you turn around and you got Jason Light down in Tampa, and you got Bruce Arians in the locker room and as a senior executive there, and you got Todd Bowles. You're sitting across from Todd Bowles, and he's telling you what you're going to see on a week-to-week basis. And this is the guy that owns Hurts. And he's showing you what he's doing and what they're going to do to you to open up his vision. It's great coaching. It's just great coaching. Now, are the Bucs as good as the Eagles? I don't know. The last two times they've played, they've destroyed the Eagles. So I can't tell. But they're a good football team. And they've got the kryptonite to beat Philly. They beat both Detroit and Philly this year. There's just nobody in the league that's done that. And if I'm not mistaken, they beat another big-time playoff team this year. I mean, hey, like I said, what I saw yesterday was I think any one of these quarterbacks, Stafford, Daniels, Goff, Geno, Darnold, Mayfield, could go into Philly and do the same shit, if not better, and be more effective in the huddle than what Hurts does. I'll stand by that. He's not a very good passer. How do you have all that weapons? And I told you at the beginning of the year, if that guy didn't look like he improved, we were going to come off the top rope. And you're going to sit there and go, Sills, look at our record. No shit, in spite of him. You did not improve your passing game this year. So, if you really put it in big picture, what's it mean now? Xander said something important on the postgame show. You're right, okay? You're right. They win a Super Bowl. This conversation is moot. If you don't, you wasted an entire year with a guy who will never deliver for you. If Jalen Hurts doesn't deliver this year, he'll never. That's why I say it's Super Bowl or bust. If this guy doesn't, do we not agree? If he doesn't win a Super Bowl this year, it's another wasted year. Right? I'll tell you this. You win 14 ball games, you got 2 14-win seasons. Inside of 4 years and you don't win a Super Bowl, there's something wrong with that. Don't you think? Right? There's something wrong with that. Wouldn't you want to turn? Hey, the reason I'm saying this is you're right here. You're not like Dallas. Dude, Dallas is zip codes away from being good. You know what my conversation would be if I was really into the Cowboys right now and covering them? Jerry Jones can't do anything to fix this. You know why? Stop asking the question. Jones is the problem. The ownership is the problem. And you know what that means? You can't fix it. Because he's as delusional as Michael Parsons is. He'll look at his roster and go, we're good if healthy. No, you're not. No, you're not. Would I take Jalen Hurts over Dak in a game? If everything was equal, yeah. You know why? He's not the better quarterback. He's the better player. That's not a better player. He'll put up great numbers. He's a black Kirk Cousins. Win a lot of games. Okay. I don't know. It's like you said when we picked up Kellen Moore. He's never close a running quarterback. He's never been close to a running quarterback. That's right. A full season with McKee, have $4,000. Dude, Sam Darnold would have an incredible season with that talent. Okay? I mean, dude, Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins are the same guy. They're the same guy. Same guy. Okay? Same dude. I mean, dude, wait a minute. I see people in here going with Darnold. What's one thing Jalen's done better than Sam Darnold? Ain't winning. They got the number 1 seed right now. They got the number 1 seed, and he's thrown for over 4,200 yards with 35 touchdowns. What has he done this year with his 2,900 yards that makes you go like this? Dude, are you telling me, now look, Justin Jefferson is a spectacular football player, okay? And that Addison kid is awful good himself, okay? Stop with the fucking rushing touchdowns. They don't matter. They don't matter unless you're throwing for $4,000. The rushing touchdowns do not matter if you're not throwing for 4,500 yards like Josh Allen. Or, by the way, Allen's numbers are down this year. Why? Because he's been protective of the football. Darnold, one and done. You make it sound like you have a winning record with Hurts in the postseason. He's 2-3. Stop acting like this guy's a champion. He's not. Stop acting like that. Jalen Hurts is not a champion, okay? Now, I think the SEC matters, and I think that's a big-time one on his side. But outside of that, this guy's no champion. Total TDs. Yeah, that always matters when you're paying a guy or when you're talking. They pay a guy from the pocket, not because he can rush for touchdowns. Stupid conversation. Just stupid. By the way, okay, this is the conversation that I'm going to put, and we're going to do this only one day. You know why? Because the Eagles are in the 2-hole no matter what it is. You can't win home field. Now, you can maybe get home field. Like I said, if Detroit or Minnesota ends up dropping a game in the playoffs, still out there for you. But this is going to be something we're going to hang over here and go, if that team gets beat because Barkley gets nicked up or something happens in a game where the run game's not going and the passing game has to go against one of these elite guys like Todd Bowles or Brian Flores, or you got to go against a defense and an offense like one up in Detroit, we're going to find out. Like I said, and if you don't win a Super Bowl, it'll be the biggest disaster in Eagle history because it's financially a disaster and it's a win total disaster. Dude, it's one thing to have expectations of be 9-7 and get into the playoffs and get knocked out. And you're like, shit, man. Dude, you know why everybody looks at 2017 and doesn't give it the proper respect that it deserves? The only reason you give that 17 is because they did cross the finish line. You know why? Because you look at 22 and you look at 24. Some of you even look at 04 and go, that's the best roster the Eagles have ever had. But those are disappointing years. You didn't finish. 17 was a surprise. Because half the fan base, probably half the organization went, after Wentz went out, they went like this. Shit. We're not going to win it. And lo and behold, you do. I mean, we're down here now. We got the final week of the year. And it doesn't matter, except for one thing. We're going to talk about it. Okay? By the way, supers go to the top. Please hit the like button. Do me a favor. Give me a number on our likes so far. Please, guys. I appreciate it. Look at this. Flexing goes 17 wasn't a surprise. What a fucking stupid take. Really? Okay, you're right. Wasn't a take after you lost your MVP. Okay, yeah. And you thought Nick Foles would win the Super Bowl? What a liar. Okay. Here are my takeaways. Guys, I appreciate it. Please, let's see if we can get to 200 likes by the top of the hour. Okay? Okay? Appreciate it, guys. You guys are great. Thank you guys so much. Here were my takeaways. As I said, 41-7, and complete ass beating of the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys were absolutely never in this thing. It was never close. The coin flip was probably the only part that made this thing close. Like this. Heads. That's as close as it was. After that, the game was over. I give a shit what Parsons thinks. Guy was stupid even to make those comments like that. Hit the like button, guys. Eagles, as we said, are slammed in the number 2 spot. These are my takeaways from yesterday. Quarterbacks were absolutely fabulous in spreading the ball around. You know, that's my definition of not having to do a lot in the passing game, but being effective in the passing game and making it really a dual. That's what your offense is supposed to look like, seamless. That is what it's supposed, not choppy. Either we're going to do this or we're going to do that. That's Jalen Hurts' career. We're either going to do this or we're going to do that. You don't do both. Yesterday, you did both. At the same level. There was balance. The play caller was better. The ball got out. There were no sacks. Jalen Hurts gives up 3 sacks a game. There were no sacks in that game. The ball went out on rhythm. Everything looked different. Okay? I think your dislike of Micah and the Cowboys skews your opinion. I don't know what you saw yesterday, 304, but they got their fucking shit pushed in. Anybody who thinks he's not great is not smart, and smart people would agree with me, really. Okay, how can you be a good football team and you're last in rush defense, you're last in scoring defense, and you get your ass drugged and you have 2 tackles in a ball game against the second and third team quarterback? How in the world would anybody look at that game yesterday and say Micah Parsons showed up? How in the world would you say that? Who in their right mind with any brains would think that guy showed up this year? Where? I don't remember a game when the true legendary rushers, and I'm not even going to put LT anymore. I'm not bringing that dude's name up. I'll bring up Derek Thomas. That guy is nowhere in that room. He's awful against the rush. And by the way, my friend, there's no dislike for Parsons. I just dislike the way he looks at himself and his Cowboy team. That Cowboy team's a train wreck. I don't know what the hell you're looking at. You're as delusional as he is if you think you're good. The McKee back shoulder throw to Smitty was great. How about that catch by AJ down the sideline, that one-handed catch that he had that wasn't inbounds? What a freaking amazing catch. Okay, Sills, how do you explain yesterday's slow first quarter start? Dude, he's a backup. The amount of reps that those 2 guys have taken this year have been limited. They've been scout team guys. Those guys were scout team guys and made your passing game look better. They were scout team guys. I mean, yesterday, and I saw a comment in here, yesterday everything was on time. The entire offense was on time. It looked different. You know, then you get that jackass Seth Joyner making a comment. Now you see the importance of Jalen. No, I didn't see it. As a matter of fact, it exposed them. And hey, some would say this. I see another comment. Yeah, the Cowboys were a JV team. So's Carolina. What happened in that game? You got through for 100 yards. No balance in that ball game. Hasn't been balance all year. One game, there was some type of balance. You got to be kidding me, man. You guys are out of your mind. If you don't see it, you'll never see it, or you don't want to see it. Okay? Or you don't want to see it. Barkley 2K, congratulations. What an accomplishment. 9th player in pro football history to accomplish that feat. What happened in the Steeler game? They stopped the run, and you had to throw the ball, and you were effective. I said that. You've never had balance. There was no balance in that game. And by the way, the Steelers are on a 3-game losing streak. Defense was once again the star of the side of the ball. They have come along, and I don't know. If Vic Fangio does not win the Assistant Coach of the Year award, there's something really wrong here. He has transformed that defense into the top unit in all of football. How about this? Let me throw this at you here. Could you imagine Jeff Stoutland on the other side of the ball having the all-time single-season rushing mark of 2105, and then Fangio has the #1 defense, and then on top of that, if you're lucky enough to win a Super Bowl, you consummate it all with that, it would be the greatest collection of accomplishments for a team that I can remember. You break the single-season rushing mark. You have a #1 defense in the NFL. Holy shit, man. You're going to win every game you play. McKee and Pickett were sensational. Why? Fitzkellen Moore style. Drop back guy. Once again, the first day he was hired, I told you he's the wrong guy. Okay? For Jalen. He's smart, though. You know the difference between him and Brian Johnson? He's a better play caller. He identifies it better. We're not throwing the ball. We're running it. Dude, he identified that Saquon Barkley is the star, not Hurts. That's what he identified. And that's what's happened. That's what's happened. CJ backed up his talk. He's been great lately. Yes, he has. Last month and a half, he has been. Yes. Fair. I thought he had a horrible first half. Sirianni on that 4th and 1, again, thank God they blew Dallas out, because that guy makes you scratch your head and some of the bullshit decisions he makes. He's such a terrible in-game coach. I mean, the talent on that team just covers for so much. It's insane. It's like, you know what the Eagles are like? They're like the inside-out version of having a superstar quarterback. Their talent on that roster is so good, they could fuck up 5 or 6 times in a game and it won't matter. The coach could, the quarterback, it won't matter. That's how good they are. It's the best roster in pro football. It is. Better than Detroit. Okay? That's a better roster in Detroit. But by the way, better rosters don't win Super Bowls. Ask yourself, you had the better roster against Mahomes, you lost. Why? Play calling and the quarterback. You will never get around that. No matter how many millions of dollars you spend in your offense, no matter how many players you add, you'll never get around that. Unless you have a Joe Burrow or somebody in there like that, you'll never get around Mahomes in the game that matters. That's what Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, that's what everybody has to overcome, is Mahomes. Not a roster. Not a roster. The Kansas City Chiefs roster is so weak, but the quarterback and the play caller are so exceptional. It overcomes all deficiencies that they might have on that team. Okay? The Cowboys are a walking mess. I don't know. 304, he's as delusional as their fan base and Parsons. You got 5 years before you're competitive in a Super Bowl. I don't know what the hell you're looking at. Parsons says there were a few plays in the ball game and the game was competitive. I'm like, what are you talking about? That game was not remotely close. When the Cowboys got off the bus, it was over. 41-7. Complete ass kicking. First downs were competitive. Total plays, 60-61. Total yards, 376 to 268. Damn. You're holding another football team under 275 yards in total offense. Vic Fangio, man, deserves a raise. Passing 197. Dude, the second and then the third team guy looked better than Dallas. Where the fuck is Trey Lance, 304? You gave a third rounder up for him? Why? Is Trey Lance still on the Cowboys? Does he play? Does Trey Lance still play? I mean, what is he doing on the roster? If you're not going to play him and you gave up assets for him, why is Trey Lance still on your football team? You know why? Because you want to be proven right. And you're never going to be. Okay? You're never going to be. The Cowboys made a play for a big name draft choice. And they think they're going to try to make a lemon into an orange. And unfortunately, that's a lemon. "42 carries. We said it on the pregame show. Had to be around 42 carries and around 19 passes in the ball game. If you hung around those numbers, that was going to be the remedy to beat Dallas because Dallas didn't have anything. By the way, 0 turnovers, 0 sacks in the ball game. No 3 sacks a game. That'd take you out of field position. They created 4 turnovers and a pick 6 with CJ. They sacked him twice. I mean, that was a complete ball game. Some are going to go like this. Well, Dallas's roster was diminished. That's not an Eagle problem. That's a Dallas problem. What? You want me to do what? Because you can't field the team? Well, you better talk to your owner and your general manager. Oh, wait, he's the same. That's not a Dallas thing. Or excuse me, that's not an Eagle thing. Because you show up and you don't have the team on the field, that's a you thing. That's why you've got to prepare for the war of attrition. The Cowboys weren't even prepared for the battles that they had to win during the year. It was the worst constructed football team that Dallas has had, in my opinion, since the 1-15 season. And I was there for that. Okay? That's on you. That's not an Eagle issue. And that's why they put the boot to you. That's why they put the boot on you. I loved it. Run them into the ground. Make them know that you're not going to be even close for the next couple of years. If you're a Dallas fan, once again, the problem is you can't fix it. Dallas's problems can't be fixed. They'll never be fixed. I'm going to make a comment here that some of you are not going to like. The only way that's going to be fixed is when Jerry Jones is not running the team any longer, and we all know what that means. When he's no longer running the team. Just like with Al Davis. When those guys are no longer running the team, you're going to get better. Unfortunately, Mark Davis is an idiot. Okay? As long as Jerry's still standing upright, Cowboys will never be good. Because they live in the land of delusional island. You can't fix this. It's not attainable. No matter how many people you draft, no matter how much money you give Dak, no matter how many coaches you fire, no matter how many things you do, the Dallas Cowboys issues can never be fixed as long as Jerry Jones is alive. It just can't happen. If you're a Cowboy fan, that's the only common denominator in the last 30 years. Well, we'll draft some. It won't matter. It just won't matter. It won't matter. Okay? Won't matter. Here are my game balls. Well, wait a minute. Oh, hold on here. Cosmo, am I wrong? Sills is right. Jerry, in his own way, and outdated as GM. Absolutely. Okay? I'll tell you this. One thing, if you want to compare Cowboys and Eagles, front office-wise and winning, it's not even remotely. Can I make a comparison to this? Hey, Bob, anyone, tell me if you compare this. It's like the Red Sox has now overtaken the American League East as being the most dominant team in the East over the Yankees. Because why? George Steinbrenner died. His kids suck. Red Sox have more World Series since Steinbrenner died. Why is that? Leadership, direction. Am I wrong? I mean, look at the Yankees. They got destroyed in the playoffs. Why? Well, they don't have a really good GM. That guy, Brian Cashman's outdated. George Steinbrenner hired him. And the Yankees are going to go nowhere. The Red Sox have been the better franchise the last 25 years. Why? The owner. I mean, I hate to do this to Cowboy fans. I played in Dallas. I get it. You'll never fix this. Never fix it. Guys, please hit the like button. Here are my game balls, my 10 game balls that I saw, who I thought played exceptionally well in this game. And I got 10 of them. Number 10, I got Thomas Booker. Thomas Booker has had a really good season this year. And he was way more productive than what Jordan Davis was. To some extent, even Jalen Carter. Dallas had a good game running the ball. They ran the ball for 127 yards. That's starting to come back a little bit now. So you're right, but fuck. You and the Red Sox. Okay. I like Thomas Booker. Number 9, Josh Sweat had a really good year this year. He has had an absolutely great season this year. I like the play that we're getting out of him. By the way, Xander will join us at 3:30, and our friend Gary Cobb at 4:30 from Fox 29. He was there at the game. Number 8, I got Gardner Johnson. I think Gardner Johnson and I agree. I think the first 9 games of the year, he stunk. Okay? He's been a lot better. And I like the pick 6 and all. Dean being out affected the run game, I think. Yeah, probably. But I also happen to think those guys with 2 tackles combined between the 2 of them. Jordan Davis, I think that was the number. I think, if I'm not mistaken, between Carter and Davis, I think they had 2 tackles. I mean, they did run for almost 130 yards on you. The shitty Cowboys with nobody blocking for them. Number 7, I got A.J. Brown. I give this guy a lot of shit, but he's a great player. Okay? He's a great player. Number 6, I think Cooper DeJean has kind of hit that Ricky Wall a little, but I believe he had a pretty good game. Okay? I think he had a pretty good ball game. Number 5, how much are you going to pay Zach Bond? And don't come in. Hey, and do me a favor. Don't come. Zach Bond's got game ball 5. How much are you going to pay him? I want to see how many people are going to go cheap here. Okay? What are you going to pay him? I'm going to write a number down on what I think he could get in the open market, and I'm going to put a fair number down. Okay. We're in the room. We're in the room. Very smart. I got 13.5 as the high. I think it's going to be between 10 and 13.5. Okay? That's where I think it's going to be. Somewhere in there. Okay? Somewhere in there. Between 10 and 13.5. He's not going to get $15 million. He's just not. They're not going to pay a guy on a one-year deal or in a one-year performance and go like this. You know why, Patrick Queen? And you know why Roquan Smith got that money? Because they had done it for 4 years. This guy hasn't done it but for 1 year. That they're not going to pay him $15 million based off of one season. That's not going to happen. Do you know how many one-year wonders we've seen in the NFL? We've seen a ton of them. Okay? They're not going to do that. They're not going to give that guy 15 to 20 million. That's not going to happen. He's not going to be in the room with Roquan Smith and some of these other guys like Fred. It's not going to happen. Now, again, I mean, you got to also take standard of life. You look at your wife and you go like this, 13.5, they come in, they give you 11.4. And they say, here's 11.4 and a 3-year contract with a boatload of money up front. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I see somebody in here, Miss International, goes 10.5 with incentives. No, 10.5 with the money up front. And you pay me a big signing bonus. I'll come down on that number. Remember, money in the bank is better than money promised. I'll take the money in the bank. I want the money in the bank. Okay? Money promised? I don't know. Hey, I promise you, I'm going to do this for you. Yeah, you know, dude, if I had a gold pen for everybody that's promised me, I had a guy one time offer me $1.5 million a year. I had a 3-year contract signed. I sent it back. You know what I got? Again, another case of wallpaper. Okay? Another case of wallpaper. Money in the bank versus money promised. Never take the promised money because usually it doesn't come through. There's always some bullshit hang up. Get the money, get it now, get it up front, and you'll take a little less because you got comfort in knowing that the money's in the bank. Okay? Number 4, I got Devontae, big game, 120. And by the way, the quarterbacks were hitting these guys all in stride, unlike the other quarterback where you got to wait on the football and he throws the spots. What's going on with the Colts? Jim was saying Pat went off. I know. I guess what's happened is that Pat has been honest about the Colts. Oh, wait. So Trey asked a good question. Pat McAfee is being honest with the Colts who he loves. Okay? He's being honest. And the fan base is trying to make him a villain. And so is the organization. The organization has called ESPN and complained about him. The Colts. He played for him. He was nominated 3 times to the Hall of Fame. Biggest punter, I get it, still. But because he was being honest. I see a guy in here go, you hate Jalen. I don't know Jalen from a can of paint. I don't hate people I don't know. How in the world could that be something that anybody could do? I don't hate anybody I don't know. Okay? I don't. If I don't know you, I don't hate you. How could I? I don't know who you are as a human. My affection for people is not based on what others say about them. And on top of that, on what others have posted about them. If I have a personal relationship with somebody, that's how I gauge who they are. I don't base it on politics, religion. I don't base it on any of that. I base it on my interaction. And I don't give a fuck what you think about him because I may like him and you may not. I don't care. That has nothing to do with me. That's a you and him thing. Again, that's why Big Sills lives on an island in one little sandbox at times. Because you don't like a guy doesn't mean I don't. Well, I don't like him. You shouldn't either. Fuck that. Like this crossing broad asshole. Now he's taking shots. You know what he said to me about me today? He said something about Howard Eskin. He goes, now they got guys, and this is what happened when you had guys like Eskin and Cataldi. We have people like Craig Carton and Dan Sileo. Thank you. At least I say something on the air. These other assholes say nothing. They're the most boringest people on the planet. Listen to some of those shows on IP. They're terrible. Listen to 97.5. It's unlistenable. Why? They say nothing. You know why? Corporate makes them not say anything. Do you know what makes those stations great? You. The fans. You do. You could get a trained squirrel to host some of these shows in Philly, and they'd get 5 shares, 8 shares. Why? Because you're passionate and it's civic pride. Dude, honestly, I don't know how anybody in that market's not doing 25 shares with the amount of content that's in that market, but I do because the Eagles will jump down on your ass if you said the truth. And that's why you have mediocre radio. And that's why you got this asshole at Crossing Broad liking guys like Rob Ellis, weekend guys who said nothing for 30 years. I mean, really. If I fucking ever worked a weekend, I'd kill myself. I mean, I'd kill myself, man. And I like Rob. I do. I do, man. I do a lot. Shit. If you had me on a weekend shift for 20 years, I think it's maybe something. Look, I might want to find something different to do. You know what I mean? Working weekends. I don't know. Hey, I do a show Monday through Friday, and I get 4 hours to be me, and I don't have to worry about the content gods hitting me in the face. And you get guys like Craig Carton and Dan Sileo. So Craig Carton had the highest ratings in the history of New York sports talk radio. And Cataldi was the greatest morning show host, sports-wise, radio-wise, in Philadelphia history. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Number 3, obviously Barkley. Some of you are going to go like this. So you gave your game ball number 3 to Barkley. Why? Well, sorry, man. I'm going to make a proclamation here about your O-line. That's the best O-line in Eagle history this year. Unfortunately, I'm ahead of the game here saying this because they got to win a Super Bowl, but that's the best O-line the Eagles have ever had is this year. And that's without Jason Kelce. That is the best offensive line they've ever had. It's the best. Hey, dude, how about your Mekhi Becton? You're a loser. You're overweight. You're overrated. And you were not a first round, and you were a first round bust. Now he's going to be an all-pro. How's that possible? I don't know what's more remarkable, Zach Bond or having somebody call a first-round pick a bust like Mekhi Becton. Do you understand? Bond was a third-round selection. I get it. That's a big-time draft pick. This guy was a first-round pick, and he was called a bust. Fucking incredible. The size of him in there, dude, it looks scary. When they give you field shots of Lane and him and Mulata, it looks like you're playing against 5 centers in the NBA. An incredible size that you have with that offense. It's enormous. Man, I really, Becton or Bond. I'll tell you this, honest to God, no disrespect to Zach Bond. If I had to pick between the two of them, give me the offensive guard. I'll take him. If he's going to take $15 million, that guy is going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of this year. Holy shit, is he going to command a ton of money? Wow. Hey, dude, Zach Bond's going to get between 10 and 12. That guy will get $15 million. He has been he's been the best right guard all-pro in AFC and NFC. Nobody's been better. And if I were going to pick the all-pro team instead of that stupid shit that I talked about the other day, I don't think there's a guy I wouldn't pick from the Eagles to make the all-pro or the Pro Bowl team at least. All 5 guys belong in the Pro Bowl. All 5. I'm not sure that's ever happened. Cam Jurgens is a Pro Bowler. Becton's a Pro Bowler. Lane's a Pro Bowler. Dickerson's a Pro Bowler. Mulata's certainly a Pro Bowler. Who would you not put on the Pro Bowl? The only reason they won't put 5 guys on, it's politics. And they don't want it to look so stupid. But every one of those guys belongs on the Pro Bowl team. You know what I think is going to happen? There's going to be some situations where they're going to be like an alternate or second team, and they're all going to be in Orlando, wherever they hold those games and shit now. Every one of those O-linemen, all 5 of those guys are going to be there. Unbelievable. That's as good an O-line as Dallas has ever had when Dallas had those guys with Emmett. Hey, by the way, don't you think? Let's put this in proper perspective here with the Eagle O-line. Check it out. And I've brought this up to you numerous times. Martune was there already with Landry. Nate Newton was there with Landry. Crawford Kerr was there with Landry. Tom Rafferty was there with Landry. Okay? Kevin Gogan was there with Landry. The only guy that Jimmy brought in that year was Mark Stepnoski. Then they bring Emmett in. He turned those guys into the best O-line in football. Look what Barkley's done. He's elevated the O-line, already a great O-line, into being the best in the game. It's better than Detroit's. I mean, they're just too good. Do you understand as a defensive lineman, you got to play against that? There's not a weakness in that line. In the size, they're going to wear you up by the fourth quarter. If you're not playing your A game, they're going to fucking run you over. If Bond leaves, pick up Louvu, EJ's. I don't trust Howie to get it right again. Okay? But he's going to have Vic helping him. Okay? The O-line has been too good. Just been too good. They're the MVPs. It's just a phenomenal season they've had. Here, I mean, that's as good a group as I've ever seen. And the backups are good. Eagle offensive line, best in NFL history? No, I don't think so. If I had to pick, it would probably be that Steeler O-line with those 2,000-yard backs. I'll tell you what, the Oiler O-line with Munchak and Bruce Matthews was awful good too. The Rams O-line with Slater, Mack, Dennis Hara, that was a good group. But remember something too. If you're going to be called the greatest O-line in football history, you got to win a Super Bowl. The Raider O-line, there you go, Charlie. The Raider O-line's probably the greatest. From the center over to the tight end, everybody made the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Okay? Otto, Upshaw, Shell, and Casper. The entire left side of the offensive line made the Hall of Fame with the Raiders. I don't know. I'm probably not going to top that. Okay? Probably not going to top that. Now, at the end of the day, could Mulata be a Hall of Famer? Yeah. Lane's going to be. Dickerson is putting Pro Bowls together. Their resumes aren't filled, but boy, I have nothing but amazing things to say about the production of offensive linemen that the Philadelphia Eagles produce. It's insanity. Bond, Becton, or Milton. One's got to go. Who is it? Milton. Looking forward to Keegan next week. Absolutely. Trevor Keegan's in the waiting. Dude, you got guys like Fred Johnson, Steen, and Keegan all in the works. And I'll say it one more time to you about Trevor Keegan. If Trevor Keegan were to go in this draft this year, he'd be a second rounder. It's not as deep as it was a year ago. Why? COVID. A lot of those guys were 25 years old when they came out of college. They took the COVID year. That's their year to mature. That's why you had all those guys go. You're going to see that number come down a little bit now. That O-line is so probably one of my favorite things to watch about the Eagles is that O-line. Just small people, man. And you have to, when you watch a defensive lineman play against them, and I do, you don't see anybody playing high, or you're going to get put on your back. If you're looking for the ball and you're playing against those guys, you're in trouble. And they move. I mean, you start looking for the ball, you're going to get put on your back. Do you know how many pancake blocks I've seen this year from that group? Tons. It's a great fucking group. I have not seen an O-line in football this year that compares. That includes the Lions. Seals, an underrated take is our offensive line. It's a great run line, but average pass protection. They're too inconsistent. I agree. That's where Detroit gets back in the room. It's because they're better pass pro offensive linemen. Kansas City too. But I think Hurts hurts them. Look at what they did with a drop back quarterback. They made the O-line even better. There were no sacks. You can't be considered a great O-line like you just pointed out when you gave up 38 sacks this year to your starting quarterback. Someone's going to look at that and go, well, because Hurts moves around in the pocket too much. You know where McKee and Pickett are going to be. And so those guys are more technically sound in their assignments when they're pass protecting. They know where he is. They don't know where Hurts is. Hurts runs into more sacks than any quarterback in the league. If you're O-line and Stoutland calls you, take the call. Dude, not only do I take the call, I'll pay for the ticket to fly to meet you and see you and work out for you. Yeah, no, that was also noticeable. The quarterback stayed in the pocket. They had courage. They stepped up, and there were no sacks. There was nobody moving around, running into him, running out of field position. There was none of that. Okay? And my number one game ball goes to Pickett and to Tanner McKee. These guys were great. They did the job. They made the offense look better. Tanner and Kenny haven't had all day to throw. They didn't have to have all day to throw. They were throwing on time. Okay? It's come down to the O-line now. Pass protecting, run blocking. Those guys were the key to it. But dude, I don't give a shit who you put back there. You got that O-line, you're going to win a game. The O-line's the key to those wins. And now that you have a top-rated defense, the key to your football team is not those receivers. And maybe not even Barkley. Because you won ball games with DeAndre Swift and Miles Sanders. The key to that is don't turn the ball over, play great defense, and let that O-line take over. That offensive line is the key to your wins. They're the MVP this year. Dude, do you know how many times Brian Westbrook texted me over the weekend and was telling me they're not touching him for 3 or 4 yards into the pile? I mean, I wish I had that. I mean, just tremendous. I mean, they put a show on this year. If I were to grade units, wide receivers, C. Quarterback, C. O-line, A+. Running game, A+. Pass protection, C+. Because Hurts giving up sacks. D-line, not a lot of pressure. It's picked up and been better. But probably a B. Linebacking core, A. Safety position, it's gotten a lot better. B. Corner play, even though Q's been beat the last 2 weeks, A-. That O-line, A+. It's just, I mean, it's everyone else on that team. They are the stars on that team. They may not get the roses and all the accolades, but everybody who plays football knows it starts in that group right there. They took the Cowboys and were throwing them around like they were at a bar and there were drunks in the bar. Becton and Mailata were picking guys up and throwing them out of the club. It's just great. What does need to do better for us to go to NOLA? Just balance. Dude, once again, Jalen Hurts doesn't have to throw for 350 yards. He has to look like that. Just balance. Smooth operating. How many times you hear Kellen Moore say this? Just a smooth operation is what we're looking for. It's never smooth. You're either doing this or you're doing that. That was smooth. Now, let's be fair to this. You know, Sills, you put more game tape on, you start seeing the deficiencies of Tanner McKee. You start seeing some of the deficiencies in Kenny Pickett and such. That's great and all, that one of. And you think they could do that consistently? No. That's why they're backups. That's why then you don't know yet on McKee because McKee doesn't have the reps. I kind of know who Pickett is. Okay? I'm more on McKee's future than I am on Pickett's future. Because I don't know what McKee can give me. He's got the size. He's got the stature. He stands in that pocket tall. He's always looking downfield. He processes the information well. You can see him moving his head around in progressions. This kid knows what he's doing. Someone go, through 4 passes. I got it. But his fundamental skills and just what he was doing with limited plays, you saw his skill set a little bit on display. Sills, are you saying he's a great? No. I want to see more reps. I am not saying that. Okay? Yesterday, I learned Hurts is holding this offense back, honestly. Tanner McKee could absolutely destroy with this offense. 3 and 4, and all 4 were completed, 2 TDs. It's Hurts missing these guys? Yeah. How many weeks have we continually said this? He misses open guys every week. Those guys ain't missing guys. You know why? Balls out like that. Balls on target. There's no getting around it when you see a guy who knows what he's doing in the pocket versus a guy who is a dual threat guy and is still learning the pocket. Hurts is still learning the pocket. Those guys are more comfortable in the pocket because that's what they've done their whole life. Those guys are not dual threat guys. Pickett runs a little, but not. Do you think McKee runs? McKee's like Peyton Manning. couldn't jump over. It looks like to me that guy, Tanner McKee, couldn't jump over a stack of quarters. And by the way, am I suggesting to you that that guy should be the starting quarterback right now? No, I'm absolutely not suggesting that. But I don't know who he is yet. And it's unfair to sit here and go, well, you know, we saw against the Cowboys. That's not a true sample size. It's just not a true sample size. Lane Johnson owns Michelle Parsons. 304, man. You and your boy and John McMullen need to go and sit down and have some beers on your boy Parsons. That podcast he does, The Edge, like I said, should be called Fantasyland. If that guy thinks there were about 5 plays in that ball game that determined that game, he was watching the wrong game, and that fucker was in the game. He got destroyed. Absolutely destroyed in that ball game. That was a well played ball game. And my God almighty, you know the most important thing you do in your division? You put the Dallas Cowboys on notice with this. It's going to be a long time before you're in the room, because let me just say this to you. With that offensive line that the Philadelphia Eagles have, Dallas is nowhere close. That kid that got out of Oklahoma is a turnstile. You know where he'll be working next? Lincoln Financial, giving tickets out, because you know what? He's used to spinning. That guy was stupid looking all year. I'm suggesting he could start over Pickett this Sunday. I would start him over Pickett. Pickett's banged up. Hey, by the way, give Kenny Pickett some love, man. He played with broken ribs. Okay? Give him some love. Don't those guys, again, I mean, look, dude, can you make a decision on yanking a quarterback based off of 19 throws? Hell no. But you saw what it looked like when you had a competent guy in the pocket. And again, what's the one thing that Kellen Moore keeps saying? Rhythm. Okay. Great post game yesterday. I think Xander's 75-13 number is going around Philadelphia right now, because everybody's picked up on that. When Xander said it yesterday in our post game show, I even hear the one and the mighty wisdom of Seth Joyner started using it as well. So I don't know what's happened to Seth, but since he's like not on our post game show, that guy got dumber. Okay, I mean, he got dumber. Because the best post-game show that there is in Philly is right here at JAKIB Sports. Okay, pre-post, and also, too, when he talks to Houston Odds, they're in the post-post. And I get to see all your grills. I like it. Is our friend, the co-host of Birds 365. They had a great show today. By the way, we appreciate everybody. Please hit that like button. Supers go to the top. We love it. Is our friend, Big Z, Xander Krauss.
What's going on, Big Sills?
All good, man. All good. Especially here on a football Monday in the East is won by your boys, the Philadelphia Eagles.
It feels good to get the win, baby. Feels good to lock up the NFC East. Now let's gear up, get ready for the playoffs, baby.
After 24 hours from the post-game show, had a chance to settle back, listen to some other shows, read some other comments that people have made. I'm going to say, you know what? Well, first, let's do the takeaways. Anything that changed your mind from the post-game show to where you are right now?
Nothing changed my mind other than I think it's going to be a fair conversation in the offseason. If this team doesn't reach a Super Bowl, I think people are going to be flocking to Big Sills for answers on this passing game. Now, I'm not quite as far as you are on it, because I want to wwait till the offseason to have that conversation. If you think that's fair, let me know.
I do.
That's where I'm at with it. Where we're 13-3. I feel real good about where the team is right now, but Jalen Hurts hasn't thrown 3 touchdown passes all year. I mean, we had 3 touchdown passes yesterday, and they made it look easy. So, and the reason
no sacks.
No sacks. The reason I said, now the Cowboys do suck. I mean, let's call it.
Well, they're good on third down.
Let's add all the context there. That's not the same Cowboys team. They're missing a lot of dudes over there, so they do stink. But you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. You have Dallas Goedert. You have Grant Calcaterra. You have Saquon Barkley. You have a top 5. Like, we have everybody on offense. And early in the year when we talked about this was why we talked about it. It was because the offense is built to be great, not mediocre, not 2,900 passing yards. Great. That's how it's built. But I'm not gonna go down that route yet because I do feel good about where we are, but I do think it's going to be a fair conversation. It's going to be an interesting one to have this offseason. How this season ends is going to be interesting, and it should give us a lot of answers, honestly, because I'm not trying to hate on Jalen. I'm not. I think he's a great player. I think he's a winner, but we kind of just saw 2 backup quarterbacks drop a 40 burger.
And I'm watching a backup quarterback right now win home field advantage potentially in Sam Darnold. Okay.
That can play.
I mean,
I think I'm starting to shed the Sam Darnold's going to turn into a pumpkin. I don't think anybody can throw 4,300 yards and 35 touchdowns if you stink.
He was insane yesterday. 377. They beat the Packers. I mean, they beat it with balance. You know what, too? Think about it. So he has the shitty coaching and organization of the Jets. Then he goes to the shitty organization of Carolina. The guy in San Francisco, Niner all day, goes, he remembers Kyle kept doing this. Hey, I like this guy. This guy Darnold can play. They didn't want to get rid of him. He goes up with Kevin O'Connell. And by the way, I'm going to shoot back on John McMullen on one thing because of what I saw with Sam Darnold last night. So you tell me this. So Sean McVay just won the NFC West. That's his 4th division title in 8 years. He's got 2 NFC championships and a Super Bowl. You think that's fucking overrated?
Yeah, but let me push back on you because I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree with you. Sirianni's coached for half the time, and he's got exactly half the accolades.
And he's not a play caller. That guy is.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. Different
He's a
types
play calling head coach.
Different types of coach. I'm just saying, I'm not the biggest Nick Sirianni fan, but he does win a lot. He does 47 wins in 4 years. I mean, I'm not going to win it.
I say this to you. Boy, the guy that I got to start giving more accolades to is that GM.
Yeah, Howie.
That GM.
This is a beast team. This is a damn good football team.
This
overall, all around. This is a good team. Absolutely.
It's the best roster in the league.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that before the year. I agree.
Oh, I didn't think that on defense. And nor did Vic. They didn't know what they had.
Yeah, I guess maybe on defense, I definitely didn't think they were.
But you saw it quicker. You saw it like in week 3. You said, you think this defense is going to come along quicker. And not a lot of people thought that. And I didn't either.
The no holes defense.
Hey, man, the run defense is kind of walking back a bit, but there's still 268-yard.
I think you saw Nakobe's importance yesterday, Sills.
Maybe possibly so, yes.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, he's a really good downhill player. So he fills the holes really well on the defensive line. That's why I think he's so good in the run game. And you didn't have that. Warren Burks had a couple. He had some good plays yesterday, but he doesn't. What's that?
Had some bad ones too.
Yes, he did. But he doesn't get downhill like Nakobe does. No. Nakobe uses his speed to get downhill, and that really helps that defense in the run game.
I'll say this to you, and I know that this is not going to be something that the media likes, but I'll do this here. I want Barkley to get 2105. I mean, I want him to get that number because I think it's a testament to Jeff Stoutland. Jordan Mailata wants it, and most of the players want it. I mean, to me, I think that number would be emphatic of what the season has really resembled. Can you imagine topping this off in New Orleans by winning a Super Bowl, and you got the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL, and Jeff Stoutland has the all-time single-season rushing mark held by Saquon Barkley. By the way, don't you think Barkley's got to make up for a little lost time in New York? That having that record would also help his case down the line when you're looking at resumes for potentially going to Canton, because he's been sensational this year. He is way better than I thought of a football player. I did not – my youth was around the Giant organization, and I did not think that guy was the second pick in the draft. He has been absolutely spectacular this year.
Yeah. To be fair to you, he wasn't in New York. He
was not that guy. By the way, let me ask you this. Do you want him to get it or do you not want him to get it?
I want him to get it selfishly, but I would understand the concept or the idea of sitting everybody down. I mean, you come this close though, the more I think about it, the more I want to play, because I'm like, why go in fear? Why play? Why make your philosophy based on fear? Isn't that in a way everything that this organization tries not to be? I mean, you go for it on fourth down. Why? Not because you're confident that you're going to get there, not because you're fearful of what happens if you don't get it. It's the same concept. I mean, Barkley's played 16 games. He's run for 2,000 yards and over 300 carries, and he hasn't gotten hurt. Now we're not going to let him get the record because we're 100 yards out.
Here,
I don't know. I do get it though. Like John McMullen tells me this morning, and I'm like, what, John? He's like, players don't care about those accolades. Fans do. And I'm like, it's the other way around. Fans want the Super Bowl. Fans are like, oh, who cares about that? Let's get ready for the play. The players want the accolades. Why would he not? I mean, I'm watching Hard Knocks, right? And Myles Garrett, the whole locker room, the whole team meeting is about Myles Garrett getting to his 100th sack and then having a third straight season of 14 plus sacks because it's never been done. I'm like, players obviously care about it, and they should. They should. That's what they get paid on. That's how their careers are quantified and measured. I have no problem with it. But to sit here and tell me that Saquon Barkley doesn't want the record is fucking stupid. Yeah, it's stupid. I have a bigger question too on this. Will it even be up to Nick Sirianni?
No, it'll be up to the player and the player.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, will the front office say,
"Oh,
we're not playing"?
I forgot about that dynamic.
That's how it goes in the offseason. That's how it goes early in the year.
If I was Howie, would you not want that record?
Maybe he would, but Howie, rightfully so, cares more about postseason success than a rushing record. Remember, this is
I also think he cares about acquisition success because he's being ridiculed.
But that answer is already solidified.
How about this though? That Huff sign was a train wreck.
Train wreck. Oh my God, what was he doing?
So was the Dotson sign a train wreck.
What the hell was Bryce Huff doing yesterday?
Dude,
he comes in, he plays a couple snaps, then he goes and sits on the bench, walks to the locker room. Somebody says he hurt a shoulder. Then he comes back, and then when we rest all the starters at the end of the game, Bryce Huff comes back into the game. I'm like, so did he not want to play when the starters were playing?
Alex Hunt played better.
I don't get that.
Okay.
I don't know if Bryce Huff wants to play here anymore. I think Bryce Huff wants out.
No, I don't think he wants to play the amount of role that he plays when the amount of plays because he knows it's taken away from his production and he's uncomfortable playing in the role they have him. Just like Hassan Reddick. Just like Hassan Reddick. Just like Hassan Reddick was not comfortable in the role he was in. Bryce Huff is not comfortable in the role he's in. Yeah.
I mean, if he got injured, I was cool with it. But the minute he came in late in the game, I'm like, what the fuck? We sit everybody down and now you're back? Now you're back, Bryce? I'm starting to hate that guy more and more. Not hate him.
You're 101 yards away, and you know the guy is going to get it. And you know the guy deep inside wants it, and the organization wants it. Here again, let me throw this at you here. Andy Reid would go for it. I know that. He played 2 preseason games, and he plays all of his starters in the preseason, and he don't have, like you just said, get this, he don't have any fucking fear. How about this? You play Mahomes in 3 games in the preseason, Xander, that have no bearing on the team's success, but they're 15-1, and Andy didn't give a shit. Andy would go for it.
That's true, and that's the other thing people say. That's for dumb organizations. I'm like, all right, Chiefs aren't a dumb organization. That's for damn sure. Now you're right. I mean, I want them to go for it because I think Saquon deserves it. I think the offensive line deserves it. I think Jeff Stoutland deserves it. I
think Saquon deserves it.
I kind of feel like even all the offensive coaches on that side of the ball deserve it, right? I mean, Kellen Moore comes here, he sacrifices, his style of play calling, his passing offense that he loves to have, and
very nicely done, Xander.
Give him the record.
He did compromise.
What's that?
He did compromise.
I do think, by the way, as much as I want them to get it, I think they're going to sit him. I don't think they're going to play him.
So we're going to see. Now, who do you want to see this weekend? Most likely it's going to be McKee because of Pickett is banged up in his ribs like that. I'm sure John is telling you that Pickett is pretty much banged up here. Doubtful that he's going to be able to go in this game. What'd you make of the quarterback play in the passing game?
Impressive. Pickett was good, man. I think Pickett deserves a little bit more credit than he's gotten. Playing through broken ribs like that, grinding it out. Made some big throws, moved the ball downfield. I think he answered some of those questions, right? Big knock on him was he can't get the ball downfield. He had a great throw downfield to Devontae Smith. Thought he moved the ball well. I think at times you see him holding the ball a little bit, but it's not for the same reasons that I think like Jalen does. I think he's just a little bit not confident yet in the offense or a little indecisive at times. But overall, I thought he was good. I thought honestly, Tanner McKee, I mean, I know he only threw 4 passes, so no, I'm not acting like he's going to be like this great player, but he was surprisingly decisive and confident for a guy that's never taken a snap in an NFL game. Like he came in and he didn't hesitate. Like he immediately identified AJ Brown's in single coverage. Boom, get that ball out. You know, like I thought that was pretty impressive for him. So good player. I like. John told me this morning, Kenny Pickett has a stronger arm than McKee, and I'm like, oh, really? I didn't see that, but John sees more practice, so it's hard for me to push back on it at that point. But I thought both of them were pretty impressive. I mean, the one thing I disagree with you on is I don't think it was the most balanced attack of the year. Like they had 19 passes and 43 runs. It's like a 68% run rate in that game. So I don't think that.
But that's not kind of well, I understand in volume, but for me, it was a smoother operation. It just looked smoother. The ball got out quicker. There were no sacks. It was effective. They got 3 TDs out of the passing game, and it just looked smoother, in my opinion, with an attack like that. That looked balanced. It just felt balanced. I mean, just in the way they approached it, they had the Cowboys completely on their heels. They didn't know what they were going to do. And I'll say this about McKee here, too. Stronger arm has nothing to do with anything in the quarterback game. Are you trying to tell me Tom Brady had a strong arm or Peyton Manning? They had
I like what Sims had to say.
It's where you're going to throw the ball in progression reading is what makes a truly great quarterback.
Right. Well, I kind of thought the same thing as you there, but I did think Phil Sims had an interesting take on that. He said he doesn't buy that arm talent or that arm strength doesn't matter. He's like, there's windows in the NFL that you have to zip that. I don't know if you remember him saying that on your show.
He did say that.
You got to zip that ball in, and when you can do it, man, that gives you an advantage. Yeah, so I think it's good enough, though. I certainly think it's good enough, obviously. And Tanner has a nice. He does throw a pretty ball too. They were nice throws down the field. So, and by the way, his only incompletion was what's his name? Was the AJ Brown catch in the end zone where he stepped out of bounds, but the one-handed grab. So he really threw all completions. It wasn't wasn't ruled a completion because he was out of bounds.
Okay, so I gotta do that. I gotta love AJ, baby. This guy is media savvy, man. So he tells the guy, I heard you bring it up too. He tells the guy on the field, let's just rest and everything. Then he sees all the local squirrels in there and he goes, I'm going to go for it. I want to be part of it. And this guy knows what he's doing. What a master manipulator, man. This guy, he's so bipolar that I
agree with you on AJ. I'm sorry. I'm polar opposite of you on AJ. He
is so bipolar.
Yeah, but does he have a little diva in him? Sure. But that also what makes you successful as a receiver, man. You got to have a little diva in you. And I think he has a very manageable amount of diva-ness, if that makes sense, to where it has never taken away from the team's success. He's putting up insane numbers year after year for the Birds. I mean, he's a very productive player. We don't win when he's not on the field. So I'm cool with some of that stuff. Like, you're making a big deal about about press conferences. I'm like, come on, Sales.
No, I didn't say I didn't like it. I know. Hey, believe me, a diva can spot a diva. I got it.
Yeah,
I understand.
As long as you say that, I'm cool with it.
I'm just saying, this guy is so fucking bipolar. We need to rest. I can guarantee you, if this guy was chasing down Calvin Johnson's single season record, he'd be like, I'm playing. I don't care if they put Ian Book in. I'm playing this week, man. You know this. He would
never be close to that record with this passing offense. Come on.
With the guys that played yesterday, he might be. I don't know, man. All right.
Who, with Tanner McBrady?
What did Pumper call him here, man? What did he call him? Tanner
Oh my
Manning?
God, Pumper was on fire last night, dude.
Tanner Manning yesterday.
Dude, he had some great nicknames on Tanner McKay. Pumper, you got to drop some of those in the chat. He had some good Philadelphia-based ones. They were great.
Hey, I got to tell you, though, man, I've never seen a guy take more shit not playing. That guy, man.
That's you. That's you.
Me?
I didn't give Jalen.
I saw posts all over social media. Are the Eagles better without Jalen Hurts? Obviously not. Okay, nobody would put any kind of credence in that. The only thing I said was this: it just looked like a smoother rhythm operation yesterday than any game I've seen all year. That's it. Now, would I sit there, like you said, Xander, you made the greatest comment in the postgame show. Sills, it's an issue when it's an issue. I'm going to pull a Jalen Hurts on it. It's an issue when it becomes an issue. And by the way, all super chats will be read at the end. If they don't win the Super Bowl, okay? That's and it becomes a problem when they can't get it done in the passing game in the postseason.
To the great JAKIB Nation, to everybody listening right now, we need to win the Super Bowl or else we will have an insufferable offseason. An insufferable offseason on JAKIB.
Hey, by the way, if you guys don't win the Super Bowl, let me say this to you, man. If you don't win the Super Bowl this offseason, you guys, this show's going to blow up bigger than it was during the regular season.
Oh, yeah.
Because let me say this to you, man. It'll be 4 hours of howling. All right. Hey, dog, you got the best offensive line in Eagle history. And I know they got to close it out by winning the Super Bowl. It's fucking, dude, no sacks. They knew where he was in the pocket. They ran the ball down their throat. That thing is, I mean, can you imagine this? You're Mekhi Becton. You were called a bust. You were called lazy. You were called fat. You were called this and that. I haven't seen a better right guard in pro football than him this year. I across AFC, NFC, I have not seen a better right guard than him. Jeff Dowd.
Did this offensive line get better after Jason Kelce?
Yeah, they're better. They're better. They're better in the O-line without Jason Kelce.
Yeah. Well, that's
impressive.
impressive.
Can I make a comment to you about that? Just to show you how fucked up that comment is? Who would have thought that Baker Mayfield would be an upgrade from Tom Brady the last 2 years?
Well, I don't agree with that.
Well, Tom Brady was 7-9 his final season. And Tom Brady,
final season, yeah, he started the show. But
and the year before that, he was okay. But this guy has outplayed him the last 2 years as well.
But Brady gives you the X factor of you get into the playoffs. He's going to go to the Super Bowl more often than he's not. I mean,
he's outplayed almost everybody.
Baker Mayfield. Actually, if
5 TDs yesterday.
You know, a lot of people are putting up the number, and I'm not insinuating Baker Mayfield should be the MVP.
It's true. Brady was 45, so let's put that in context too, all right?
But I will say this about Bake Show. A lot of people are putting up the Josh Allen numbers and the Burrow numbers and Lamar. Like, Baker Mayfield's got 4,339 touchdowns and 15 picks with 107 rating. That dude's dealing right now. I mean, he's got a little.
How do you have Darnold in the MVP conversation?
Darnold probably should be in the MVP.
He's got the number 1 seed. He's got all these gigantic numbers. Okay? I mean,
I don't know. Who is your MVP right now? I feel like mine's still Josh Allen.
It is. Because he has – Josh Allen had to get rid of $70 million off that salary cap, and they're still 13-2.
Yeah, right.
And they beat Kansas City.
Yeah. Joe Burrow, low-key, should be in there as well. But
he's 8-8, dude. If that fucker gets in the postseason, there's going to be a strong push for that guy as well, too.
I kind of want them to get in.
Lamar's close to 1,000 yards rushing, and he's going to have 4,500 passing yards and 45 touchdowns with 4 picks.
Yeah, pretty insane what he's doing, too. Boy, 3 – would that be his 3rd MVP already?
Yeah, 3rd before the age of 29.
Yeah, Lamar, you can make the – look, I think you can make a case for any of them right now, those 3 guys.
How about Barkley?
Just not a quarterback award. It's a quarterback award. That's why I'm struggling to say.
So he wins the Offensive Player of the Year then?
I think he should win that award.
Yeah,
sure.
I do too.
Yeah.
he'll win the Offensive Player of the Year award because,
Yeah,
especially
look,
if he gets
when
21
people are going to
fives.
say this, I'm not going to push back on you, PBNJ.
No.
Lamar's having a crazy year,
No.
but I don't know. I think Josh Allen, what he's done is pretty special. I mean, Lamar's still handing off to a Hall of Fame running back there. I mean, he's got some guy. Josh Allen is literally all of the Buffalo Bills offense.
Is it me or is it I'm watching Derrick Henry the last 3 weeks. Does he looks like he's getting healthier and fresher the way he's running? He had 160 some odd yards this past game. Does it not look like he's freaking getting, I don't know, man. He looks awful good. What?
You talking about Saquon?
No, I'm talking about Derrick Henry. Doesn't it look like he's getting
he ran really good over the holiday. Yeah, they kind of beat the shit out of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
3 straight losses now for the Steelers.
You know where I think I'm a little biased right now on Lamar or why I don't have him top? To be honest, I watch a lot of football. I haven't watched every Ravens game.
You beat him.
We beat the shit out of him. Like Lamar looked not very good versus us. No. And I think that's maybe skewing me a little bit.
I like that take.
Yeah. I mean, we just, we made him we made him look like not an MVP at all. So let me ask you a question, by the way, on Jalen Hurts. John tells me I'm crazy for thinking this. John told me I was crazy a lot this morning. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, you are, but go ahead.
I have great takes. You worried about 3 games off going in the playoffs? Crunch time, need a win.
Not with that style.
Not with Jalen?
Not with Jalen's style. I would be with a passer.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? Watch this. He's a runner, dude.
He is a runner. That's what he is.
It's what he is. He's the one of, like John says, he's one A to the run game, and he's kind of effective in the passing game. So get this. Rhythm. Has he ever had rhythm? I've never seen it, so I'm not worried about it because you know why? That style of play has won you a ton of ball games. Now, look.
2,900 passing yards is a bad look.
Dude, completely. It's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, get this. If you're paying a guy $50 million and you brought a new passing coordinator in to improve the passing game and you had 2,900 yards and 18 touchdowns in 15 ball games, and you looked around at that and go like this, there's nobody in their right mind would go like this. Well, the passing game improved. Brian Johnson did more to improve the passing game than what Kellen Moore did. Right. Kellen Moore identified the strength of the team, and they went cookie cutter. They're going to run it. What you saw yesterday is why I said this, is that you're right. There wasn't a ton of passes. It just looked and felt better. You didn't know. If you were a defensive coordinator, you didn't know what you were going to get hit with. You didn't know. But when I'm playing against a Jalen Hurts offense, I know what I'm going to get hit with. We're either going to get hit with a pass or we're going to get hit with a run. You're going to defend one or the other. They don't really – and they say this all the time. Well, if we can't run it, we're going to throw it. Well, yesterday you did both. You did both yesterday.
You did, but here's the one thing I like about the dual threat quarterback in the new age of the NFL, and I think it's hard to quantify this because it doesn't always show up on every stat sheet. And to be fair to you, I still think you got to be able to pass the ball very well. It's similar to Jaden Daniels, similar to Lamar Jackson, kind of styles like that. But I mean, you watch that game last night with the Commanders and the Falcons late in the game. It's 3rd and 2. Pressure comes up the middle. And Jaden Daniels makes it happen on 3rd and short, picks up the first down, moves the sticks, keeps the game alive. And I think you see that with dual threat quarterbacks so much where they can break a defense's back by just being able to escape the pocket or just the escapability to get that first down. And I've seen that so many times over the years with Jalen Hurts. And I think it's one of those things that's hard to quantify or hard to measure how important it is. But in the new age, I think it's really valuable. Now, I will say, you still got to be able to pass the ball effectively, especially in this age of the NFL. And I think Jalen can do it. I think it's a little concerning that the passing game has struggled as much as it has this year.
How about
I think it's been better, but he's got to make sure to make the plays when they come in.
When I watched Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jackson and I watched Josh Allen play with the dual threat style, those guys are 4,000-yard passers.
Yeah, what's Jaden Daniels have right now passing-wise?
I think he's got 37 with a game left. I think he's got 37.
And he's a rookie.
He's a rookie. Oh. And he's got 25 touchdown passes, and he's under 10 in INTs. All he's super
35-30, so he's a little down from that. But
he's 35? He's got 35?
30, yep.
Okay, 35-30 he's got this year, and probably will play the final game. I don't know how important it is. Hey, I'll tell you what, they want to win that game
because they want to get to 60. They don't want to play us in round 1.
Okay, So then, okay, that's right. Because then right now, also too, it'd be Green Bay if you guys were going to line up right now.
And who'd you rather play, the Eagles or the Rams? That's who the Commanders are dealing with.
Oh my God, I'd rather play the Rams.
Well, that's why they're fighting for the 6th seed.
I'd rather play the Rams because they're more of a finesse team.
What do you think? What do you think of the potential playing of Green Bay in round 1?
Yeah, here's the playoffs right now. Minnesota, believe it or not, has the number 1 seed. Phillies 2, Rams 3, Buccaneers are 4. Detroit 15-2 or 14-2, I think it is. Or 14-2. No, they're 15-2. Excuse me. They're in the 5 hole. You got Washington at 6, and you got Green Bay at 7. Here'd be the opening rounds of the playoffs. With Atlanta sitting in the 8 hole too at 8-8. You got Green Bay at Philly. You'd have Washington at the Rams, and you'd have Detroit at Tampa. Holy shit! Now, the home field advantage is completely wiped out with the regular season. You still could get an upset and still host the NFC title game at Lincoln Financial if Detroit or Minnesota, whoever wins this weekend, ends up dropping a game in the playoffs, obviously. You could still have the title game held in Philly. So that's still out there, but the chances of you now have been erased that you're going to win home field advantage. So Green Bay at Philly, man, Jordan Love, opening round. You know, a repeat of the opener. I don't know, man. That'd be a tough ball game.
You know, people are like, "Oh, you're scared. Get a dog." I'm like, I'm not fucking scared. I'm analyzing. That's not a game you want in the round 1 of the playoffs in the wild card.
That's more
of a divisional matchup. That's more of a divisional. I don't think Detroit
wants Tampa. They beat them up there.
Yeah, I don't think. See, I as much as I don't want to play Tampa for us, I think Detroit's tailor-made to beat Tampa.
Because they beat them this year.
Tampa did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And they beat Philly.
I just don't see Tampa being able to slow down all those points at Tampa.
And it's at home.
That Detroit scores.
And it would be at home.
Shit, the Buccaneers are the team that knocked off the Lions?
Yes. And the Eagles.
Yeah, that was week 3, yeah.
Yeah, and it would be at
right. That was the game that Jared Goff threw 55 pass attempts. That's right.
Hey, and it would be at Raymond James. They beat them up there too in Detroit, dude. I mean,
yeah.
Hey, look, no. Nobody's talking about being scared. You're talking about matchups in the postseason.
Man.
It's not about anything. I'll tell you what, man. I can't believe how well Minnesota has rolled. That guy Kevin O'Connell is going to be the slam dunk NFL coach.
He should be. And credit to you. You said that a bit ago. He should be.
He's going to be the slam dunk. No matter what happens this weekend, he's going to be the slam dunk coach of the year. He's done a marvelous job with that football team here. Now, let me ask you this now. The defense, Xander.
Yeah.
What are you making of the defense? We got to get. Look, this game probably this weekend's not going to matter at all, except the determination on whether or not they're going to play Saquon Barkley and whether or not they're going to go for the record. If Barkley's going to play, I would imagine Hurts is going to play as well this weekend. By the way, please hit the like button. We'll read all supers, I promise you, in what we'll do. The defense.
I feel good about them.
How do you think they're playing well? How do you think they're playing right now?
I feel pretty good about them, but there's still a little inkling of me that has some, could they turn into could they get shelled at the wrong time? And then it costs us. I don't think so though. I mean, you have 9 turnovers in 2 games. It's pretty impressive, but you took the ball away 4 times from the Cowboys. You beat them 41-7. If you think that's going to be how it goes when you're in the playoffs, it's just not. I mean, it's impressive. It's great that they did that, but my point is, it's not like I'm not saying, oh, slamming home. This defense going to take us to the promised land? I'm optimistic on them. I think that's partly why I want Jaden Daniels in round 1, because I like the matchup with Vic Fangio better than I like, Jordan Love, who has playoff experience, who went into Dallas last year on the road and destroyed them. 48 points they put up last year. I mean, they destroyed them. So,
plus that play caller.
I feel good about the defense. How do you feel about the defense?
They have just been, since the bye, absolutely the best unit in football and the most solid unit. I got to tell you, man, your offensive line and the defense has been the story of the year on that side of the ball.
Defense and Barkley, that's the 2024 season right now.
Yeah, that old line, man, for me, I'm a big fat
Barkley,
guy.
Barkley.
It all goes with that. I get it. But, man, it's just been my only problems. Here's my negatives on the defense. I'm not happy with the pressure. I'm just not. And I think the last 3 weeks, the run defense kind of given up a little bit in yardage now. Again, it's situational. I'm not going to go crazy because it's not a ton of yards, but it's gone above the 90 mark where they were to like 120, 138, something 140.
Right.
If you got a decent quarterback, Xander, and you got a guy putting 140 yards up rushing, your play action is going to work. Okay, because you've got to be cognizant of the fact that they're running the ball on you. Dallas ran the ball at 4.3 a clip. I mean, they were moving the ball, running it. So, I mean, Dallas's O-line is awful. Okay, and they were able to move the sticks on it. So I was a little bit.
Yeah.
And Nakobe Dean, did John give you any updates on what his issue is, or does he?
No.
I think he said something on the post-game show. Said that he was out there, and I think they just had a game decision, and it kind of popped up late that they weren't going to play him. So obviously now they're going to give him 2 weeks off. So I doubt he'll play against the Giants this week. So they'll sit his ass.
Probably good for him. Yeah, probably good for a player like him.
Here's what I would do this week. I would play my starters in the first half. And I'd see where I was after the first quarter. Barkley's got 65 yards. I'm going to keep him in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Go for it. If I don't, and he's not, and the Giants are going to do everything in their power.
Can we just come out and bunch sets and just
tush push and use him as the tush push?
It with Barkley, just start freaking handing the ball off.
You really think John Mara wants to have that record broken against the Giants?
I'd love to be able to do it in 10
booth?
carries, 10 or 12 carries. I don't really want to get a game though, Sills, where I got another 30 carries.
No way. He can't take that. He's got 340 right now, 342. Hey, by the way, the ultimate fuck you is to break the record against you. I mean, I've tweeted that out too. How is that not the ultimate to Joe Shona? Fuck you. How about tasting this? 21-36 instead of 21-05. And the guy breaks the record versus you. And you got to answer that in the offseason. And you're looking for a running back. And you had him. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, that to me. Who's been a better? I mean, Vic Fangio, would you not agree, has been the best coach that has been hired by Howie Roseman and his entire general managers? He didn't hire Stoutland. That was Chip Kelly.
No, that was Chip Kelly, correct.
Chip brought him in from Miami, University of Miami. Wait a minute. I think Miami, then Alabama. I think he was at Alabama first. No, he went Miami, then Alabama, then to Philly. I think it went like that. Is he as good a hire as Stoutland?
1 year. Hard to say that yet. But
has he not developed some of the players we were calling bust?
Well, listen, Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, not there yet, but looks better. Nakobe Dean, the two rookies in the two rookie defensive backs, Quinion and Cooper.
A free agent,
Bond, right? I mean, yeah, he's done good. I think Vic Fangio's the shoe-in for assistant coach of the year. They have that award, right? Assistant coach of the year. I think he should get
Schwartz won it a year ago.
Yeah, well, he deserves it this year. Vic Fangio deserves it this year. I don't think anybody expected this to be a number one defense in the NFL. Nobody. I mean, we were hoping they got the 15. Remember? We're like, boy, if they can get the 15, this team will be freaking good, man. And they're number one, so they're in a good spot right now. But I don't know, man. I keep having flashbacks of Jaden Daniels' 5 touchdown passes last week, and I'm like, fuck. At any given moment, that's the one thing I hate about. Defenses in the modern game are different than great defenses in the games in years ago in the past. And I know I'm a younger fan. I know I didn't watch those defenses, but
no, you're dead
you
on.
had a number one defense in the past.
Yep.
But you didn't get beat. You didn't have games where teams put up 30 at any given moment. You could have the number one defense. You go up against a Mahomes or an Allen or a Brady or a Burrow or any of these guys. They can make you turn you to a sieve, and all you need is one game. It's any given Sunday, So they got to keep at it. They got to stay disciplined and keep grinding. I will say nobody wants to say Quinyon Mitchell's hitting the rookie wall. All right, it's fine. Nobody wants to say that. Everybody pushed back on me for saying it. He went 15 weeks, no touchdowns. No touchdowns allowed. 2 straight weeks now giving up touchdowns. And I thought there was a couple other throws there that Cooper Rush missed where Quinyon Mitchell got burnt. I'm not saying he's falling off a cliff. I'm not saying he's a bust. I'm just saying you're going into the most important part of the year. Is he going to be as good as he was in the first half of the season? We better hope. All right? That's all I'm saying.
Who do you think's had a better year, Cooper DeJean or Quinyon Mitchell?
Can I push? Can I say both? Can I fence ride this one?
You sound like somebody on WIP. Then I'm assuming.
No, don't compare me to that.
I'm shooting for higher standards here with us. Give me one.
I'm gonna say Q. I'm gonna say Q because
harder position.
That's tough to say.
Harder position though. Wait, playing corner versus slot corner?
I think drafting a QB, a cornerback 1 is so. I'm so excited that we drafted a cornerback 1 that looks like he can be a cornerback 1 for a long time. So maybe I'm putting a little bit more positional value there, and that's what's giving him the lead for me. But I'm gonna take Q because I think we could live with a little bit lesser slot play. I don't think we'd be doing too hot if we didn't have great cornerback play on the other side, especially, by the way, in a system that relies on communication, understanding zones and some of those things. I think Q's done a really good job at that. But like I said, it's a push for me. But if you're going to make me pick, I'll take Q.
You agree that Gardner Johnson has upped his game the last 5 weeks?
I tweeted that out yesterday. He has really turned. I'll eat a little crow on him because early in the year I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see that he's added to this defense. He has. I mean, you saw it, how much he's helped down the stretch. And by the way, did you hear his answer? I know they're not under oath. I get it. We don't listen to what they say too much. Watch what they do. But his answer yesterday about missing the game the week prior and, shelving who he is and knowing the team needs you to shut my ass up because it was stupid of me. I'm like, what a great answer that was from CJ Gardner-Johnson. So I'm starting to like him a lot more. He's really contributing, and he's kind of been the glue a little bit on that in that secondary.
Yeah, he has. By the way, that's an interesting number right there that Brandon brings up. 9 guys in 2K, none have Super Bowl rings. Wait a second. Are you trying to tell me that Jamal Lewis doesn't have a Super Bowl ring? You might want to check that. I think
he's saying none of those seasons.
Oh, that season he didn't. Probably you're right. But Jamal Lewis.
That's what he's saying. Because Buckhalter says Terrell Davis has a Super Bowl.
And he's got 2K too.
Brandon, I think what you're saying is none of – well, actually, if you look at those if you look at those seasons, not all of them were too good. I mean, Adrian Peterson's 2K yard year, they had Christian Ponder, who barely threw for 3,000 yards. Like, he was putting up Jalen Hurts numbers, Christian Ponder.
Oh, shots fired. Holy cow, man.
No, I'm kidding.
Hey, let me it did expose it a little bit though yesterday.
Expose what?
That the passing, those quarterbacks were getting that ball out and rhythm. No holding on to it. I mean, no sacks. I mean, and these guys were just backups. How about if you had a functional guy back there with all those skill set guys? Hurry, I'll ask you,
Joe Burrow.
I'll ask you one simple question. Do you think that Jalen Hurts in his time as the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, and dude, I know he's won. I get it. But do you think he's utilized every asset in his huddle to the top and to the best of their abilities, including himself?
Say that question one more time. Sorry.
Okay. In his 4 years starting, 5 years in the league, do you think that Jalen Hurts has utilized to the best of their abilities every single guy in that offense on how the offense is constructed and himself to the best of his ability?
No. That's a big, sweeping, easy answer. No. Okay. It's been great. He's winning a lot of games. I'm not trying to take away from the player, but you're talking about guys that are top of the top at their position all over the roster. I mean, Devontae Smith, people were mad at me because I put him down to like 12 to 15, somewhere in that range, 10 to 15, somewhere in that range at receivers. Well, that's what he is on the Eagles. Would he be top 10 somewhere else? Probably would. You saw how easy he got open yesterday, but there's no way anybody can say that. I mean, I'm not trying to take away from him, but no, we have so, in fact, I don't know how many, there might be 4 quarterbacks in the league that the answer to that question would be yes. I don't think you could say yes to that if Lamar Jackson was the quarterback.
Yeah, but I don't think any of those other quarterbacks have the assets in their huddles that this
That's
guy
my
got.
point, though.
Yeah,
but my point is that there's so many assets here. It's very hard to get the most out of them. It's going to take a very special player to get the most out of them. But
do you think? How about we ask this question?
No way.
Do you think Dotson would have more than 12 catches?
Dude, what the fuck's up with that guy?
Dude, the guy in cuts better. The guy in Washington that they had a year ago was better.
But even Tanner McBrady and Kenny Manning were out there. They couldn't find him either. They couldn't find him either. There was games A.J. Brown missed. Dotson was nowhere. There was games Devontae Smith missed. He was nowhere.
Third rounder.
I don't understand. And then I tweeted out, Olamide Zaccheaus is so much better than this dude. And I get pushback. I'm like, are you guys kidding me? We sent a third rounder for this guy. If you signed him a free agent for $1 million, it's all right. Who cares? You replaced Olamide with him. Who cares? We sent a third.
Right.
It's a stupid move.
Stupid.
He's been nothing for this team. I don't know what happened. But listen, when a division rival sends you a first-round pick that was taken 2 seasons ago, not 3, not 4, not 5, 2 seasons ago, you could take the big red flag and you start waving it. Yeah, and that's what happened there.
All right, let's do some of these supers, Xander. We got
to get to him. We got
JAKIB at the bottom of the hour here.
Brandon Howard says, how many 6-foot QBs have been historic other than Breeze? Not many.
Not Tarkington.
How tall was Montana?
6'3", 6'1", 6'2", something like that. He's in 6'1", 6'2", 6'3". He's in that.
Elway was tall too, right?
Who?
Elway was tall.
Elway was about 6'3", 6'4".
6'3".
Okay, he was about dude, that old line. Boy, when McKee looked back there in that pocket, he just looked Michael Vick. But again, how much?
Theismann, he was 6. Michael Vick was 6.
Okay, all right, and they had the Hogs, and they had the Hogs. Who?
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that's good. But you know what Russell Wilson did to compensate for it? Instead of taking a 7-step drop, he took a 9-step. So that he could see over. And that was something that Sean Payton.
Fran Tarkenton.
Yeah, Fran Tarkenton's in that room. When Tarkenton retired, Xander, he had the all-time passing yardage number from Unitas, and he held it for a while, I believe, until the guy, Dan Fouts, broke it.
Sonny Jurgensen, he was 5'11".
That's a 60s, 70s guy. So I think
he's a long time
because the O-line was a little smaller back then. Than what they are today.
Good question, Brandon. I appreciate that.
Roethlisberger is 6'6", dude. He ain't no 6.
No, Roethlisberger
was a horse back there. He was enormous. And Allen's 6'6". Okay?
Mahomes, how tall is Mahomes? What's he, 6'3"?
I think he's 6'3", 6'3.5". Somewhere in that room.
He's listed at 6'2", so yeah, probably.
Okay, 6'2". All right. Yep.
Brandon Howard, 9 guys to hit 2K, none of a super. We read that one. Flexen says, I told all of y'all to slow down on that lockdown shit with Q and comparing him to Reid.
I don't think I ever heard Xander say that you're comparing him to.
No, I don't think he's talking about me.
I don't think that was the case. But again, hey, by the way, even with the last 2 weeks, the guys played exceptional football. I'm sorry, man. I mean, if you play corner in this league, you're gonna get beat. I don't care who the fuck you are. You're going to get beat.
Jalen is 6'1". I thought, I don't know, Jared. I met Jalen in person. He's not too much taller than me. And
I'll tell you what there, Jared. Jalen Hurts is 6'1". If he's standing on a Hershey bar, I can tell you that, man, because that dude is no 6'1", man.
He's got maybe some inflated soles in his cleats.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's wearing them extra boots.
NG checks in. He says 27's the last couple games is mild concern. Yeah, that's why we were talking about Quignon.
Yep.
I agree, NG. I think it's fair to talk about my man. Flexing and stepping. What's up, Flex? KC not scared to play no one, and neither should we. Don't matter about matchups. Well, I mean, you're not scared, Flex, but there's obviously better matchups. Matchups make fights, Flex. One of the oldest sayings in football.
There goes flexing, throwing Kansas City. Dude, you know what? Again, remember something. Know who you are. Kansas City or them, you're not them. Don't talk like you're Kansas City.
Can you imagine if this offense had Joe Burrow?
Imagine if you had Matthew Stafford. Dude, if you had Matthew Stafford throwing from that pocket, never getting touched, he'd fucking go for 500 yards every game. Dude, I wonder how Nick Foles would do in that huddle.
Too streaky. Flexing and stepping again. What's up? We're not going to act like fans wasn't in the chat saying no one can beat us. Now fans are scared to play.
Nobody's scared to play anybody when you got that old line. Look at Flexing. Who are you? Flexing Sileo? Hyperbole? Is that where we're going here, Flexing?
Flexing
does
have a little bit of Sileo in him. I'll give him that. Mikey Shred says, passing not improved, decision-making did.
I think a little.
Yeah, I mean, you see, one dude posted yesterday, like, oh, Jalen Hurts could have made those throws. I'm like, well, duh, if he saw him, he would have made them. Jalen's made many great throws, but if you watch the one touchdown pass, and I don't know I forget if it was Pickett's or if it was I think it was the Pickett throw, maybe to Devontae. One of the big throws yesterday. They're getting pressure on the edges, steps up into the pocket nicely, lets Jordan Mailata fend off the edge rusher to the outside and delivers the ball downfield. I'm not saying Jalen wouldn't make the throw, but 9.5 times out of 10, Jalen's taken off to the right there. That's just the reality. That's our quarterback. Some of that maybe, but maybe not. Eagles are zigging while everyone is zagging.
So yesterday, you had 5 incompletions yesterday. Okay. You had 5 incompletions, and you had 3 TD passes from dudes. Tanner McKee, who has been holding like a nice cup all year, and the other guy, Kenny Pickett, who's been sitting there, has been polishing up his resume for potentially going somewhere else next year. And those guys go out there and look like that. Like those guys have been in that offense the entire year. I don't know. It just looked better.
A-team, I don't know what you mean by this. Zigging when everyone's zagging. In what regard? Running, maybe? I'm not sure. Brian Pumper, there he is.
There you go.
Tanner the Hammer over Jalen Squirts. Free McKee, the MFer knows how to read. Holy shit. We got to roll through some of these. We got Gary Cobb coming in. Gary doesn't know yet. He's coming into a firestorm. Actually, he does. Yeah, he's been coming on here for years. He knows what he's coming in.
Wait a minute. Tanner Manning.
Tanner Brady. Tanner McBrady. Oh, my goodness. John says, when Jalen comes back, that offense better start clicking unless they see greatness and decide to, unless Howie decides to go the New England route.
Oh, no. Quarterback controversy.
Not happening. F Body checks in. Early bye makes a strong case for sitting starters this week to essentially give a second bye week going into the playoffs. Nervous about rust. The only guy I'm nervous about rust is Jalen, and it's not really rust. It's just, Sills, you take 3 weeks off. I mean, we missed 2 shows last week for Christmas. You come back Friday, you're like, I feel a little different, right? You're not in the same rhythm. You're not. It's in everything in life. So 3 weeks is a lot.
Once again, before we get Gary on, when you're a rhythm passer, that matters. You don't have one in Philly.
That's fine. Anthony Wilson says, I need you guys both to name a team that had a running back that ran for 2K and also had a QB that throws for 4K. Now, I agree Jalen has to get the ball out quicker, but he's not as bad as Sills makes it out to be. Anthony, 2,900 with
2,900 passing yards and 18 TDs in 15 games. Gary Cobb played against that when he was at Southern Cal, when he was at Cal.
Yeah, we got one more, and then we'll get to G Cobb. No Limit says, what do y'all think about the Packers matchup? They start slow, but I didn't think they'd come back yesterday. If they start fast, it'll be a different game. Yeah, and that's where I'm worried about the Eagles. They can't seem to start quick, dude. Even yesterday with Pickett, they didn't start quick.
No, I get it. I totally do. All right. Xander, great stuff, man. We'll catch you tomorrow on Birds 365. I can't wait to hear what G Cobb's got to say, because I've got people like Crossing Broad taking shots at big cells. And Gary still comes on here. Angelo. Well, what? No. So that dickhead at Crossing Broad says that
Never heard of it.
Because of Howard Eskin, we have the likes of Carton and Sileo. And he goes, this is what we're left with is Carton and Sileo. And of course, Cataldi has passed the torch to me, which he hates, of course, to hear that. He goes, hey, guys like Eskin have spawned Sileo and Craig Carton. And I'm like, thank you.
Somebody should tell that dude.
By the way, Cobb worked with Carton.
Somebody should tell that dude you've been doing this for 40 years. You're not new to this.
I mean, right, like you said, who the fuck is that guy?
All right. Enjoy thanks for having me on, Sills. Great stuff, everybody in the chat. Looking forward to your interview with JAKIB.
You got it. That is going to be the case here in a second here. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit that like button. And I got to tell you, man, we're going to talk about Jalen Hurts here in a second, but I want to be fair. This is what I saw yesterday. So I'm setting this up with Gary. I saw a smooth rhythm yesterday. And by the way, no sacks. They were effective. And they destroyed the Cowboys with rhythm. It wasn't, well, we're going to run the ball or we're going to pass. It was both. It looked awful good. I hate to pollute my question here with my friend. So let's bring him in right now from Fox 29 in Philadelphia. Bob Lang has not gotten to him yet. So I'm very thankful that he still comes on the program.
What was Bob? Bob was put the.
Oh, yeah, no. Bob has made it so that the people at NBC Sports Philly can't come on anymore. The people at WIP can't come on any longer.
You know, I've known Bob a long time, man.
I knew him when he was in San Francisco.
Yeah, Bob, man. So, okay, well, hey. In fact, I saw him yesterday, He was over there at the game, of course, at the game, working and looking at everything. But, this is an interesting situation, I don't know. I didn't hear what you guys were saying.
What were your takeaways first, Gary, from yesterday?
It really, it really was a sloppy game to begin with. I mean, for most of the game, it was very sloppy. And you can't really blame that, just on the quarterbacks. But the Eagles, they didn't look good a lot of that game. I mean, it was not a pretty game the way you want to see them, really move the ball and things. But then there were some promising things that came out of it. I mean, with some of the passing later on, seemed like they started to kind of get into a rhythm, and you saw some, a very good passing game. But originally, they're giving the ball to Saquon over and over and over, and I just don't understand with a guy like Pickett, who's a pretty good athlete. Okay, why wouldn't they let him run the RPOs and he doesn't need to keep the ball a lot. 1 or 2 times you keep the ball. On a bootleg, he keeps the ball. And, because they weren't playing him to bootleg. If he bootlegs and makes just a little bit of yardage, it makes him start being honest. That means the backside guy can't go down there and he's going in there to take away the cutback hold from Saquon. That he's got to stay on the line. He's got to be honest. If they can get him to be honest, then you're doing what Jalen normally does, which is make this guy stay over here. So when Saquon hits the cutback hole, he can hit it wide open, and if he hits it wide open, he's gone, man. So I didn't like the fact that we didn't see that. I didn't know why they didn't run some bootlegs. Just to show that he's an athlete. And Kenny Pickett can run. I mean, he ran a 4.7 in a 40-yard dash. That's plenty good enough.
Yeah.
And he can keep those guys honest, because that's the thing I didn't like from the game before. I didn't like the fact in the Washington game, they never made them be honest. And so in the second half, they had all those guys. Everybody's playing Saquon. When you got a guy that's an athlete, all he's got to do is just keep the ball a couple times and make some yardage going around that corner. And that guy out there has got to be honest. He's got to stay there and play the quarterback. So that's what I would have liked to see him do. But it was sloppy early on. But then, you saw some of the quarterbacking was a lot better near the end. And you saw the strength of these guys, especially, with their ability to throw the football. And they did a nice job throwing the football. And, of course, it was all set up for them because, they ran Saquon so much.
How about this, Gary? If Kenny Pickett's ribs were hurting that much and he played through broken ribs to all the things that you said,
yeah,
why didn't they just start McKee then? I mean, why did they just go here and go, well, let's just go? Because like you said, I mean, not only there, I mean, preserving the guy and taking some of the plays away and taking some of the ability to help Saquon with, like you said, running those RPOs and making those things happen. Why didn't they just go with McKee? Do you think they were just apprehensive on playing him?
Yes.
I
thought that they were, they knew what they were going to get with Penny. Pickett. They knew what they were going to get with him. So I just think that they didn't want to get in a situation where, you got a guy you got going in there that's hurt. And I thought they thought that Kenny, he was, he wasn't crying during the week.
No.
So maybe they thought it was less than it was. And I don't know that I can't remember him getting hit there that much, but maybe he got hit and it caused it to really the pain to increase and everything. Because from what I understood, they gave him a shot there to numb it and everything. And he was looking fine early on, but maybe he got nicked somewhere. I wasn't. Maybe it's come where he got hit. You get hit, you got real problems. You get hit, man. You talking about some pain. You got pain.
Absolutely. I think he went in to get one. He came back out, and they didn't put his ass back out there again. Now I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, I did see. Not to mention, I did see him go into 10. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this here: do you want Barkley to get that 2105? Gary, this is a number that you and I were in the league during this time.
I know.
And I got to tell you, if somebody said this, to me, they go, players don't care about that. I'm like, that's bullshit.
That's right.
If you're going after an all-time sack record, or you're going after an all-time record like this, 2105, in today's NFL with all the free agent movement that you have, that would be an incredible number for the O-line, for Jeff Stoutland, for the organization, for Howie Roseman.
Yep.
What says you on whether or not and how maybe should you go about this week? Because this game theoretically means nothing because Minnesota, Detroit, that's going to be for home field advantage.
Correct. It's the kind of thing where I think that if they really want to do it, I would let them do it. I would say go ahead and go for it. If enough of the guys, of course, like you mentioned, the offensive line, come on. This is going to be the number one thing in their career. Come on. You block for the guy that's got the record for the most yardage in a season, most rushing yardage in a season. And if those guys want to do it, if it's okay with the coach and everything, now you are taking a chance. And, he's going to get buried if he were to get hurt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But if he agrees with it and says, hey, it's something special to these guys worked all this time to get up this point, we're going to let them go after it. And if that's what they agree to do now, he's got to realize he's going to be the one under fire. If they were to get hurt, somebody was, if Barkley was to get hurt or something, and, if that's what they want to do, they can go ahead and go for it. And so that's the way I feel about it because, to say it means nothing, you're lying. You're lying. Come on. You're going to tell me forever you're sitting looking at TV with your kids, living with grandkids, you're sitting there and they go, oh, yeah, Saquon Barkley's the all-time rush leader and everything. Oh, that doesn't mean anything. That's garbage. Not to mention, it's helping to put him in the Hall of Fame. Come on.
How about this, Gary?
Come on, a couple of years, he's in the Hall just about.
Get this, Gary.
2, 3, yeah.
How about this? 3 years ago, try to tell me who won the Super Bowl 3-4 years ago. But I'll tell you, between you and me, we know Irv Pankey, we know Doug Smith, we know Dennis Hara, and we know Jackie Slater, that they were in that line that was blocking for Eric Dickerson.
That's right.
I know who them horses were.
Yeah,
that's kind of shit that you're remembered by.
That's right.
Because you were on a unit like that. I mean,
that's right.
What's the most famous Philadelphia Eagle unit ever mentioned? It's Gang Green.
That's right.
They didn't win a Super Bowl. It's not the 17 guys. It's Gang Green.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're
Hey,
right.
what do you think of the defense right now? Are you happy with where they are
No,
heading into the
no.
final week?
No, I'm not really happy. I don't like the way. Come on, the pass rush.
Yep.
You know, come on. You need a consistent pass rush. And I know some of the guys are banged up and everything, but they're going to have to play better. You know, I didn't like the way that game started out. I mean, it was sloppy. You know, I'm going like, this is not good football. The Cowboys look bad and the Eagles look bad. In fact, the Cowboys were controlling the game. Come on. First quarter, the Cowboys had the ball like 12 minutes of the first quarter. You know, they had the ball the whole first quarter, and it went into the second quarter, and they were really much controlling the game. Ultimately, you know, they weren't scoring points. So, I mean, they were controlling the game, but they had the ball, but they weren't scoring points. But it wasn't anything I would be all that thrilled about, saying the Eagles look so great. The score looked great, but that game wasn't that much of a blowout. The Eagles, they didn't play a great game. I thought those, you know, if anything, you know, some of the passing later on was impressive.
I thought the last couple of weeks, Gary, they've been kind of soft a little bit in the run game because the Cowboys had about 130 yards rushing on them, and we're starting to see a little bit more of that.
Yes.
And like you said, with the lack of pressure, that kind of concerns me, especially right now. If you have to take on Green Bay, you're going to need to get pressure in that opening wild card round.
That's right.
And if you're playing either Jaden Daniels or you're playing Jordan Love, those are kids that can move around back there.
That's right.
And they know where to throw the ball. And by the way, Daniels has got the win 2 weeks ago now. And now you're looking at Green Bay, who went into Dallas last year and beat the piss out of the Cowboys. So
yeah, they did.
You're going to have to get a pass rush going here.
You're right. And they got to play better. And they got to know it. Come on. They were not, when they came out in that game, they weren't just whooping Dallas's butt. They weren't just dominating up front. No, they were running the ball on them. They were passing the ball on them. They were controlling the clock and controlling the possession of the football. And so the defense has got to play better. And of course, you know, they want to get Jalen back out there. They want to get that running game going and get back to, you know, dominating football. And I think they can do it because I think their offensive line is good enough to where they can do it. But they know they got to play better than that. That game was nothing to be getting all thrilled about.
Hey, Gary,
yeah.
What was the worst unit? The 1-15 Cowboys or what you saw yesterday?
Hey, I'd have to say, you know, the 1-15 Cowboys, you know, but I'm telling you that did not, you know, it wasn't an easy decision though, because hey, that didn't look good yesterday.
No
man.
way.
You know, some people talking to me, oh man, were you there the whole game? I mean, for a lot of the game, you're going, man, this is some sloppy football. This is not championship football.
No way.
And you know, and you look at some of the games they played earlier, like let's say the way they beat the Steelers. Now that was championship football. They went out there, they took the ball, they dominated the ball, the possession of the ball, the whole game. And then at the end, it's like, whatever, 10, 12 minutes to go. And they've gone, boys, you guys can go ahead and start taking a shower in there. You guys, you Steelers that play offense, you guys go ahead and take it in, man. You're done.
Yeah.
Now that's championship football. When you take the ball and you possess it like that and you execute. But that was sloppy football yesterday. I mean, Dallas is horrible. And the Eagles were playing down to them.
How about this one here? Couple last ones here for you. Have you been surprised at the level of improvement that Vic has brought to the defense? Did he surprise you that it's been this dramatic? Gary, we knew his reputation, but I don't know he's ever done anything like this in his career. He's never had a number one overall defense. He's never won a Super Bowl as a coordinator in his entire career. Jim Schwartz has. A lot of other people have won these Super Bowls. Dan Quinn has done that himself when he was in Seattle.
That's right.
Have you been surprised? Did he surprise you in what he's done. Even Oren Burks yesterday wasn't spectacular, but he led the Eagles in tackles. He put a guy in there, and there he was making some plays in there. Trotter was making some plays.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you been surprised?
Well, I didn't know him real well, hadn't really, seen his work, closely. I know that he was involved the year before and everything, but I definitely have been impressed with the job he's done. There's no doubt about it. You see where he really teaches the game. I tell you, the people that are working for him, the assistant coaches, they've improved every position.
Yep.
You can see where the linebackers, they play smart football, they're aggressive. You see the same thing with the defensive backfield, where you got young players and they're doing a great job of teaching them the game. And you can see where they know the position when you're in it's a 3rd and 8, where you're able to play smart. You know the kind of routes they're going to run. You're going to be there near the sticks because they're trying to get a first down, and seeing guys play smart football. And same thing with the defensive line and everything. So I've seen those things with Vic, and he's obviously an outstanding teacher. And that's what I've been impressed with. These guys have come a long way. Now I want to see them step it back up. They're going to have to step it back up and play the way they have been playing earlier. The challenge is going to be there. There's going to be, it's going to be one and done pretty soon, where you got to win. And if they play the way, he's had them playing, I tell you, they're going to be fine. But Vic, he's an outstanding defensive coach, no doubt about it. Knows the game and everything. And, I give him a lot of credit for the success that they've had.
How about this last one here? I raved for about 5 minutes about this offensive line. I think Mekhi Becton has been the all-pro right guard. I mean, you can make an argument, Gary, that all 5 guys belong in the Pro Bowl or at the Orlando games thing, whatever they do, because those guys have been so dominant. Mm-hmm. Is this the best offensive line in Eagle history? And I mean that, get this, even with, the addition of Cam Jurgens at center and not having Jason Kelce, I think he's been an upgrade. I think Jason was running out of gas towards the end of the year last year. Mm-hmm. I know the brains and the setting of the blocking schemes, that's something he's not in the same room with Jason, but I don't know, man. If you're going to break the 2105 record and you got that group, hasn't it not been an upgrade, the entire group? And has it not been the best? Is this O-line better than the 17 O-line? Is it better than the 2004 O-line? In your opinion, is the best O-line in Eagle history? I know they got to win a Super Bowl, probably to solidify that, but just give me your take. You've been around the team a long time.
I think they have the case. I think that you could make a good argument. I mean, I could see where they are. I could see certain things with dominating. I think they have been. They didn't lean on those other lines like they lean on this line, to where, look, we're running the ball. We're going to run the ball. You guys, we want you to take over this game, and we're going to run the ball. And they have started getting a reputation. And like I said, we saw that in that some of the early games where, look, gets to the second half, we are running the football. We're going to just we're going to, when we come off the field, they're going to be 0-0-0-0 on there, because we're just going to eat up the clock. We're going to run the ball on these guys, and to be able to exert your will there. And when you look at the line, this is the biggest, most physical line that they've ever had. Wow. I think that now, it is. It's the biggest, most physical line. They've never had 2 guards like with the Dickerson and
Becton.
And Becton, 2 guards like that. They never had 2 guards like that. And they're physical, man. They're big. It's a big physical. You got the tackles, of course. They're a big physical group. And, they like to play that style of ball. That's what they like to do. And hopefully this is what it gets to, because that's the way they go to the Super Bowl, is riding those guys. Now they're going to need Jalen to come back and play good football and everything, but it's going to be that running game that ultimately is the difference. Is their check to the their ticket to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely, no question. Gary, I appreciate it, my friend.
All right.
Should be a very interesting next couple of weeks here too, especially.
Yeah, we'll see the stuff going on with Jalen and everything. We're going to see, does he Is he at full strength? Does he
would you play him, Gary? Would you play him?
No. This Giants game, no.
Well,
I'll tell you what. If he wanted to play, maybe I'd think about it a little bit. But I don't want him carrying the ball and stuff. I mean, so I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't. But when they get into the playoffs, they need Jaylen to be Jaylen. They need him running the ball some. They need him being that threat because of the threat he keeps the dogs off of Saquon Barkley. They cannot gang up against him, and then they got to play their game, which is really the core of it is the running game, and then the play action pass and all that comes after that. But they got the people. They should be able to go to the bowl. I mean, they got a good enough team. But they got to play the way that they were playing earlier in the year.
Let me sneak this in on you. So if he doesn't play in 15 ball games, he'll end the season with 2,903 yards and 18 TD passes.
Yeah.
Do you think Kellen Moore was the right hire for him to improve the passing game this year? And I'll ask you a simpler question. Do you think that Jalen Hurts, as a starting quarterback, utilizes to the maximum the offensive skill set that's in his huddle between Devontae, AJ, Dallas Goedert? The third wide receiver hole has 12 catches total. And Jalen Hurts has never thrown for 4,000 yards in his 4 years starting, and he's a 5-year veteran now. In your opinion, do you think Kellen has improved that passing game?
No, they haven't. No, for the talent they have, come on. Look at the kids. Look at the kid yesterday throwing to those guys. Come on.
I know.
These they haven't maximized that. But you know what? So what?
Okay.
I mean,
we're winning. I get it.
But right now. Now, if they don't win at all, of course, that'll be what stops.
You know what, Gary? That's what we just got through saying. It's a nothing burger right now until it becomes a something burger that they didn't utilize it. So in other words, you're saying it's Super Bowl or bust here.
Come on, look at the talent on this team.
I'm with you.
I mean, they should, yes. I mean, have I been disappointed in their passing game? Yes. Come on, they got you got better talent. They should be able to throw the ball. You got a running game that's such a threat. You should be able to throw the ball. Should be able to throw the ball with ease. Yes, you should. And has Kellen been somewhat of disappointment with the passing game? Yes. I think he would say that. Come on. You think he says, "Oh man, I think we've maximized the talent we got." It. Come on, he couldn't look anybody in the face and say that.
You're 31st. You're 31st in passing.
That's right. But this is the big but.
Yep.
But if they come with the ring, if they go get the ring, then you know what? But they are going to have to throw the ball to get that ring.
I know that.
Meaning there are going to be some times, you're playing against these good teams. There are going to be some times they're going to go, look, we got to throw this ball, you guys. We got to do both. We got to be able to run it. We got to be able to throw it. So ultimately, that is going to come in. But hey, if they get the ring, hey, everything's out. But if they don't get the ring, then you got to come back and go, man, look at the talent we got here, man. Why can't we throw the ball? We look at the way of Minnesota is throwing the ball.
He's a backup. He's got 4,400 passing yards and 35 TDs.
I mean, look at the way they're going. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Number 1 seed.
I know. But that's all out the window.
You're right. If they win
if you send them home,
yep.
Okay, you send them home and you get it going now. See, you get it going now. But but to say that with this talent, like you see the receivers they've got, when you lead them one-on-one, they don't have guys in the league going to cover those guys one-on-one. Oh, no, they don't. So you should be able to move this ball when you got such a threat at the running back position, and when you put all this talent together, you go, look, you guys, hey, the only thing you get an A grade is you come back with the ring. If you don't get the ring, you can't give a coach an A grade with all that talent. Come on, man.
Yep. I agree with you. I can't wait to see what happens over the next couple of weeks.
It's going to be fun to see what happens. Yeah, because this is what it's all about, man.
Absolutely. Gary, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
You got it. Gary Cobb, Fox 29. Make sure you check him out. I saw Sue say something in here about stats again. I think, is that what you said, Sue? Well, how about this, Sue? He's 14-2 stats and number 1 seed in the NFC. Is that stats? Are those stats? Hey, Sue, come on, you non-red bottom wearing shoe lover, Sue. Come on, Sue. Is that a stat? Come on, Sue. 14-2. Holy shit, look at her. Always get him. Sue must be married to AJ. Yeah. Can you imagine? Oh, wait a minute. Sue would never be married to is it AJ? Whatever that guy is. Or BJ. Is it AJ? Sue would never be married to that guy. You know why? He's from Canada. Nobody marries anybody from Canada. Oh, man. How you doing? Holy cow. 29-03. What a year. Holy shit. Jalen Hurts, the best year since he's been a pro. 29-03. Holy shit, those are horrible numbers. What a terrible passing year. Okay. LJ. It's LJ, is it? It's LJ. Yeah, that guy. You're married to LJ, but I thought for a minute you might be married to him, but then I realized he's a Canadian. Yeah. Sills doesn't get it. Oh no, I get it. I totally get it. Are you crazy? The money you spent? Hey, the money that you spent? Absolutely phenomenal, man. Congratulations to you. You got a lemon. You bought a lemon for your car. It's a lemon. Oh, man. You see Kenny flick it. You flick it, and you see, like, Tanner Manning. You guys see Tanner Manning on Sunday? Tanner Manning, man. He was absolutely sensational, man. I love Tanner Manning. Unbelievable, man. Hey, by the way, what here? Less attempts, but just as efficient, Sills. Hey, Forrest. Less attempts and it looked better. Hurts is a terrible pocket passer. No sacks. Looked great. Wow. Man. You see Kenny flick it, and you had Tanner Manning. Where's my boy Pumper? Here he is right here. By the way, Supers go to the top. Give me a total where we are in our like list right now. Boy, that Tanner Manning was something, huh? Brian Pumper. Dude, I thought I was watching Peyton Manning play. With those 4 attempts, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was Peyton Manning. Oh, man. Peyton. Tanner Payton. Oh, my God. That was fantastic. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. Do me a favor. We're going to reset. Please hit that like button. Don't forget our great friends at BetUS. Great time of the year with all these bowl games coming up here on New Year's Day and New Year's Eve. And then you have all the NFL football on Saturday and Sunday. Playoff action coming around the corner. This is absolutely the best time of the year. Don't forget our BetUS YouTube 150. Sign-up bonus all the way to $2K. Your second and third are 125% each on second and third. And if you're into crypto, it's 200%. And your sign-up bonus is up to $2K. Go to betus.com.pa. Home of Michael Vick, the brand new Norfolk State head football coach. I love that Jimmy Johnson gave him a whistle, too, as well. Fastest payouts in the business, 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the year, live wagering on all major ball games. Please go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sales National Football Show. I did you all a favor in Philadelphia today. Come on, say thank you, Big Sales. Say thank you, Big Sales. Let me hear it. Come on. Come on. Say thank you, Big Sills. Come on. Say thank Sue. Say Big Sills, I love you and thank you. Say I love you and thank you. All of you. Say it. I got a nice surprise for you. I got a great surprise. Anthony, I got a great surprise for you. Sills TD ran for 2K in 1998, and Denver won the Super Bowl. Okay? Their quarterback was John Elway. Jalen Hurts, John Elway. Look at old Anthony comparing him to John Elway. Are you out of your tree? John Elway. Okay? John Elway. Okay. Get a little ahead of yourself there. Now, do me a favor. Come on. Okay, come on. Say thank you, Cells. Oh, whoa. Okay. Say thank you. Come on. Here's why you say thank you. No, I'm kidding, actually. Okay. I have got to make sure that I cover this name and number. I don't know if you can see it. Here are the list of names. They got how much time? He's got 2 weeks. These 3 people have 2 weeks. And for me to put the intel together for Eric Allen, here's who I voted for. Out of Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Willie Anderson, Jahari Evans, Antonio Gates, Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly, Eli Manning, Steve Smith, Terrell Suggs, Fred Taylor, Adam Vinatieri, Darren Woodson, and Marshall Yonda. Here are the people that I'm doing research on, that I agreed to do research on. Both Allens, Eric and Jared, Luke Kuechly, Reggie Wayne, and I did Antonio Gates. Those are the people that I'm going to be doing my intel on for these 3. And then I think 4 more of the 50 Hall of Fame voters that will be picking these guys. So in theory, I'll be working for 7. I get paid for this. I'll be working for 7 of the NFL Pro Football Hall of Famers. That's why the Hall of Fame follows me on X, because they send me all the information that I need to fill out the information that they need so that the Hall of Fame voters can do their own homework, and plus I give them intel. So I'll be helping along with 7 of the voters. I might do Rick Gosselin this year. I don't want to give the names out too much because Rick's a pretty big deal. Probably he'll send something in. Sometimes they don't. It varies between 7 and 11, sometimes during the year. So about 20% sometimes of the voters ask me to do research for these guys. Okay? I'm not voting Eli Manning first ballot. I'm just not. I don't think he's a first ballot player. And, Gary Myers in New York asked me for the last 3 days, why aren't you doing research for him? And he's probably not going to ask me now. I'm like, I don't think Eli Manning, because he's going to do his, from what I understand, Gary Myers is going to do the Eli Manning presentation in Canton, Hall of Fame week or Super Bowl week. I just said, I feel uncomfortable doing information on him. I don't think he's first ballot. I'll probably do it next year. But I'm not doing first ballot. I don't believe he's first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't. He'll probably, Flexen's right, he'll probably still get in because the name Manning. Okay, but I just, not me. I think there's better players. Antonio Gates is a great tight end. And I know Antonio very well. Obviously, you know Reggie well. I think Reggie's been on that ballot quite a bit of years now. I think Luke Kuechly's a slam dunk. And I got Eric Allen and Jared Allen. I think Jared Allen was a really great pass rusher when he was in Minnesota. If I'm not mistaken, I thought he was the Defensive Player of the Year. I got to look more of that up. But, yeah, so this is the first year that I'll be doing intel for Eric Allen. I did it a year ago. I got him down, I think, to the 20s. But once it got to 5, he was not on the list. And so there was no need for me. Now, this is the door knocking. So we're going to figure out who's going to make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Okay? I mean, Eli Manning led tried to tell Gary Myers, Eli Manning is 17-17. He led the NFL in interceptions 3 times. His last 10 years, he was 25 games under 500. I don't know. I mean, I get the Super Bowls and the Super Bowl MVP. I get it. But I think half of his career was dog shit. And I think he was a streakier player than than Nick Foles was. So, I mean, that's where I'm at with that. Okay? I mean, yeah, that actually came to me prior to going on the air today. Eli's like Trent Dilfer. No, Eli was better than Trent. Eli, if I had to compare Eli Manning to somebody, I think Eli Manning was like Joe Flacco. Eli Manning, Joe Flacco, I think they're the same dude. I mean, if you Joe Flacco, Eli Manning, I don't know. I see the same guy. Okay? I mean, I think Joe Flacco was a good ball player. He was a Super Bowl winner himself. So, I mean, he was kind of like, yeah, I mean, he was better longer. You know, I mean, he was better longer. Okay? Yeah, I mean, I think he's a good ball player. All right. I want to send this message out, and I know John McMullen, and I brought this up with Xander earlier. You getting Eric Allen back on? Yeah, I sent him a text today, and I told him what I'm doing. He was very. Here, I'll show you. Here, let me just randomly show you who's on my phone here. Yeah, there's Eric Allen right there. And he goes like this, Sills, you got me, because he knows what I'm doing. I said, yeah, I got you. I didn't even know you weren't in. I really didn't. I thought he was in 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I thought he was in a long time ago. To be honest with you. I thought he was in. He goes, no, I'm not in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, what? All right. Okay. Not something like, what? You know? So, hey, Flexion. Eric Allen is Philly. Flexing, you know, I mean, put on. Brian, late joining. So sorry if you discussed it already. Eric Allen making the final HOF cut down Sills. Also, thank the Cowboys. Happy New Year's to you. Brian, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I'm doing the research on him, and I'll let you know. And by the way, like I said, I think Jared Allen belongs in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Okay. Allen, Jerome, Seth, Reggie, Clyde Simmons. I think that was a great topic. Here's why you get that 2105. And I'm going to tweet this out later. What do you think is the most memorable team in Eagle history? Probably Wednesday. What's the most memorable team? Gangrene. No titles. 2017 is not remembered like those guys. They're remembered because they won the Super Bowl. But you remember Gangrene because they personified Philly. Buddy's teams, like Yale said. How about the team that delivered the greatest single-season performance in rushing history? In an era of passing, and still won 14 ball games. How about that? Would you not remember that? As much as you remember Jerome Brown, Reggie White, Clyde Simmons, Seth Joyner, Andre Waters, Wes Hopkins, Eric Allen. Okay? As much as you remember those guys, you'll remember these guys. Becton, Malata, Dickerson, Juergens, Johnson. They'll become synonymous in Philly. There's no doubt you have to stamp it with the Super Bowl win. I get it. You're right. But these guys are historic And they're on the cusp of historic. I heard Xander say that players don't give a fuck about being historic. There's more historic players in the Hall of Fame than champions. Do you know that? People are under the assumption the NFL is filled with champions. They're filled with historic players. Okay? All historic players. You will never forget that unit, what they did, if they get that record. Stop bringing up 40 fucking years ago in passing. 40 years ago. 40, you're bringing up 35 years ago. The passing game was completely different, okay, than it is today. Unbelievably different. The game today, dude, you got stiffs throwing for 4,200 yards, and you got an even bigger one throwing for 2,900 yards. The rules weren't even the same in the game. You got a quarterback that throws for, dude, your quarterback had the worst year of his career passing. The worst in his 4 years starting, 5 years as a pro. Case slam dunk. It's the worst in his career. 18 touchdowns. It's 2 more than his rookie year. And he is a pro. He's elite. What the fuck is elite about this guy? Okay, hey, no doubt. Hey, this guy wins ball games. No question. And just like Gary and Xander say, it's a nothing burger till it will become a nothing burger. It's the only team in the league that doesn't use the passing game to the best of their ability. Elite. Yeah. Sills don't know you. This was mentioned, but you think Berge should be in the Hall of Fame? Pretty close. Philly Don, pretty close, man. He's a 6-time Pro Bowler, Rookie of the Year when he was with the Bengals. Tragedy that he ended up passing away. I think it was cancer, throat cancer or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. One of my very first jerseys in my life. I don't even know how he got 66. My first 2 were Berge and Leroy Selman. I have no idea. I know how I got the Leroy Selman one because Leroy was like my idol when I was younger. But I have no idea how I got the Berge one. But I remember I used to have that mesh. Remember that old mesh Philly jersey that they sold like back in the 70s and 80s? I had that thing. Let's see what Jalen and the passing game do in the playoffs. The regular season's over. Let's look forward. Okay, Chris, that's fair. That's fair. With the rushing yards this team has, what should Hurts yards look like? Here, that's a good one. Be more Philly. Here, let me get that to you here. What should they look like, he says. Hold on here. Let me take a look at this. Folks, are you reading this? Are you reading this? With Barkley's yards being what they are, what should Hurts's numbers look like? Okay. Let's see. How about 3,955 passing yards, 39 touchdowns, 4 picks with a 129.4 rating and 852 yards rushing with 4 touchdowns. That's what they should look like. And the guy in Baltimore is going to have 4,000 passing yards and 40 TD passes and 4 picks and almost 900 rushing yards. Lamar Jackson. Yeah. By the way, Lamar has nowhere near the talent on his team you do. Nowhere near the talent. He's got Zay Flowers. Okay, he's a guy, I guess. Shit, the guy in Buffalo has nobody. He has nobody. Zero. What are you doing? Hey, if Lamar Jackson had 29.03 and 18 touchdowns, he'd be fired in Baltimore. Okay, he'd be fired. Brian Pumper. Sills, I see a lot of ifs with these Jalenites when it comes to their savior. My aunt had balls. She would be my uncle. Delusional. Like I said, Brian, the only thing truly elite are my balls. How you doing? Holy cow. Okay. Let's see here what Presser says. Still, Sirianni gave the players off today for the first time all season. Do you think that's an indication starters are out this week? Gave him Mondays off? You're not hitting Mondays. Give me Thursday off. Give me Thursday and Friday off. Or give me Wednesday off. Wednesday and Thursday, give me off. I don't want Monday off. It's film watching day. You go in on Monday, you watch the film, and you get Tuesday's Players' Day off. Okay? Give me fucking Monday off. I don't give a shit about Monday. I don't have to come in and watch the film. Okay. Right? Those teams are agony outs, and either one has a 2K rusher nor a number one defense. I'm not sure what that means. Those other teams have to rely on their quarterback more, not you. I saw two backup quarterbacks go in there and do the same thing your guy does and do it better, actually. Elite. Oh, man. Elite. Hey, I wrote down. Let me do this here. Let me take a look. Let me go here and tell you who in the NFC had the best passing years. We're down to the last week here, so we might as well take a look at that. Let's take a look at some of these players who have had better seasons than your passing game that you paid $116 million to. Let's see, Baker Mayfield, 4,279, 39 touchdowns, 107.6 rating. Sam Darnold, 4,153, 35 touchdowns, 106.4 rating, 68% completion percentage. Mayfield's at 72% completion percentage. Wow. Elite. I was saying those teams have been in shootouts. Yeah, because they don't have great rosters like you do. You got a great roster. Geno Smith, 4,097, 70 completion percentage, 90 quarterback rating. Let's see. Stafford, 37.62, 20 TDs, 65.8. Let's see another one down here. Kyler Murray had a better year than Jalen. 36.09, 68% completion percentage, 18 touchdowns. Oh, he's right there with Hurts. 91-1. How you doing? Look at this, man. Lamar does not have two great tight ends. He has one. And he has a Hall of Fame running back. He didn't need him last year. He had home field advantage, and they won 14 ball games. Look at Anthony trying to move the sticks on you. Lamar Jackson doesn't need Derrick Henry. He didn't last year. You want to hear something crazy, too? Lamar Jackson won more ball games a year ago. And Lamar Jackson didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver or a 1,000-yard back, and they won 14 games, and they had home field advantage. This year, he's got somebody helping him. He don't need Derrick Henry. Hurts needs Saquon Barkley. He don't need Derrick Henry. Lamar has 2 great tight ends. He has 1. Great running back. 2 solid wideouts. Okay. Now, Allen, he only has a good running back. I like that kid, Bush. He's pretty good. Allen doesn't have much. Come on, Anthony. You know better than that. Lamar Jackson doesn't need Derrick Henry. He doesn't. He didn't a year ago. Okay? He doesn't. 1 year wonder. 1 year wonder, dun, dun. Who wrote the book of one Hurts? Hey, Pumper, did you see Tanner Manning yesterday? Holy shit, man. That was remarkable to watch, man. I just loved it. Absolutely. I guess winning doesn't matter. Hey, winning didn't matter in Alabama when they sat his ass down. Jalen Wood lost only 2 games and they yanked him. You know why? He wasn't good enough. And in college, you can have 5 first-round draft choice quarterbacks. In the NFL, you can't. They benched his ass at the place that had just as much. Get this. Alabama on the college level during the Saban time, would we not agree, Xander? Alabama during the Jalen Hurts time that he was there with Nick Saban had as much talent on the college level as the pros right now and the Eagle team right now has. The only difference is the Eagles can't have 2 number 1s or 2 $50 million quarterbacks. Alabama did. They had 4 first-rounders in the building or 3 first-rounders in the building. And they yanked him and benched him because he wasn't good enough. Why are you always so fixed on tearing Hurts down? No. I'm fixed on making you better. You're not, you missed this thing. I don't give a shit about him. Could care less. Honestly, his personality, how he is, I don't care. I care about winning Super Bowls and maximizing the talent you have on your team. That's all I care about. That's it. That's it. Nothing more. I don't want to be friends with him. I don't care about that stuff. I never have. It's nothing to do with winning. I would put an asshole on my football team, even if he hated me, if he helped me win. If there was a guy that I couldn't stand, but he could help me win, I'm going to put him on my team. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to Mike Tomlin him. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to coach him the same way he coached Antonio Brown or Le'Veon Bell. Biggest assholes in Tomlin's career. He still coached him. That's what a coach does. Coaches assholes. Not everybody's going to be a coach's kid. You got to coach a few assholes. Okay? That's what good coaches do. Okay? Prove me wrong. You ain't proved dick yet with Hurts. Your boy Mike Tomlin started 10-3 and now 10-7. Are you trying to suggest to me that you think that the Steelers have the same talent level? The Steelers don't. They got to do a better job in their personnel department. This is where Howie is better than anything Pittsburgh has done right now. Yeah. By the way, son, Mike Tomlin's going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Do you know where do you know where Nick Sirianni's going when he's done? He's going to cable TV as an analyst. It's that. He'll be broadcasting on Hulu. Breaking games down on Hulu. With that quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick, could be on Hulu. Be on Hulu. Oh, man. Okay, hey, here are the guys who had great performances this past weekend. Okay, do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. No, actually, they don't. They have a very good football team, and it's your best win. You think they have – this guy's stupid. I'm not going to debate this if this guy thinks that they have great wide receivers. They got a really good running back. Their line's good. Their quarterback is good. Their receivers blow out loud. Their tight end's terrible. They've got a good defense. Other than that, no, they're not like you and when healthy San Francisco. I'm not debating that, senor. If you want to lie to yourself, have at it. Have at it. Bench Hurts, start McKee. That's getting a little bit too much there. I'm not going there with that. This guy's trying to tell you, no, Pittsburgh's got a sensational roster. What a stupid, absolute comment. Okay? Kid, the one thing that we have here on this program, the one thing that you obviously don't know, Dick Stick, is that getting killed, these people come here every fucking day for 4 hours and sit here and we have conversation, and they don't agree with me. Unlike you. So you must be a newbie. So take your aluminum foil hat, sit in the corner, and understand what a true sports talk show is. It's not like those fucking stupid shows you listen to in Philly or wherever you are, where you and your boyfriend sit around there peeling bananas, and you sit there listening. I really look at my guy really loves my team. And, I mean, fuck, even KNBR has tough love when they're on the air there in the Bay Area. So, kid, just sit back, relax. This will be the last time I notice you because, listen, I got to tell you, thank you very much for the algorithm and continuing to keep posting. Keep posting away. Come on, keep posting away, son. Come on there, little kitty. Come on, Junior. Keep posting away. Come on, keep posting. Don't go anywhere. Come on, keep posting. I need you. You help the algorithm. Come on. Give me one more. Give me one more, please. Come here, sweetheart. Give me one more. I need one more. I know. Hey, I'm a waker you. Come on, man. You guys get it. There you go. Hey, look at this. How many guys will say this comment? I'm in your head. No. You give. My aunt's watching. I got to stop. It's the holidays. I got to be nice. I'm not going to finish it. No, hey, maniac. It's my birthday's Friday. I'm going to try to be nice. Okay? I'm going to try to be nice. Okay? Oh, Aunt Betty, I know. Oh, man. I'm very sorry. Hey, I apologize. That's about 4 Hail Marys and about 10 Our Fathers that I'll be on my knees tonight, so I apologize. Xander goes, another year down. You're getting even grumpier. I'm not grumpy. I'm in a good mood today. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay? Hey, Silio's really a big L. I know. I've been a big L for 40 years of broadcasting. Damn. Another guy with a groundbreaking take. Hey, wait a minute. Maniac. So these guys go, this guy has been awful for 40 years in broadcasting. Holy shit. And yeah, I know. I've been watching you for 3.5 hours, and you're an asshole. Wow. It took you that long? I must not be doing my gig. Okay. I must. Hey, way to take something I talk about with the Lord and flip it upside down, M. Reyes. Man, you talk about a sinner. You are a sinner. Oh, man. Here are people who had a great weekend. Okay? Bang! Baker Mayfield. 359 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. Rolls his team to a 9-7 record and puts them back in a playoff race. Way to go, Baker Mayfield. It's incredible what he's done the last 2 years. It's absolutely insane. Kudos to him. I thought this guy was a turd. Okay? I thought he was a turd, man. Okay? I did. Uh-oh. We got a problem. Philly, we have a problem. Maniac. Yale. We have a problem here. Guess what quarterback you're facing this week? Guess who? He's a guy that beat you. Guess who you have this week? Guess who? Uh-oh. Drew Lock, baby. The greatness of Drew Lock. Here's the guy that put an L on you last year and made your coach look like a stupid-ass liar last year. The greatness of Drew Lock. How you doing? 309. 14. Wait a minute. Drew Lock has thrown for more touchdown passes in a game than Hurts did in 2 games. And he did it against the Colts. No wonder Pat McAfee's pissed off. I'd be pissed off too, man. Holy shit. 309. And 4 touchdowns. Holy shit. The Giants, man. Look out. The Giants are probably going to win that game. Hey, James Jones. James Jones. Your boy's the best. I'm going to rank them. Best quarterbacks in the NFC East. Let's see here. East. Jaden Daniels. 227 yards passing, 3 TD passes, 127 yards rushing. Brings the Commanders to an 11-5 record. First time in like 30 years they've had a record like this. Jaden Daniels, number 1. Jalen Hurts, I guess 2. Dak 3. And then Drew Lock, or the pizza guy, 4th. A rookie has officially become the number 1 quarterback in the NFC East. Can you imagine? It's a great take. Can you imagine Jaden Daniels if he was on the 49ers? Niner all day. Could you imagine if you had Jaden Daniels on the 49ers? Hey, could you imagine if the Eagles had Jaden Daniels? Wait, no, I got one. Hey, James, here's my new ranking. Jaden Daniels, NFC East quarterbacks, 1. Hurts number 2. Dak Prescott, number 3. Tanner Manning, number 4. Oh, man. Tanner Manning, number 4. Okay. Well, what's this here? Look, Twiz goes, Daniels hasn't accomplished shit yet. He beat you. Jalen Hurts don't play offense or defense, excuse me. He beat you. He beat you in his rookie year. If the Niners had Daniels, we'd take him out like we took Purdy out. You don't have the guy that took those guys out. You don't have good edge rushers. You have decent edge rushers. I mean, you don't have Hassan Reddick. Don't act like you do. Okay? Shit, Twiz. Jaden took a 4-win to the playoff spot, bro. He did. 4-win team. 4-win team. And Hurts won 9 games in his first year, did he not? Daniels won 11. Beat him. Oh, man. And beat him. Okay? Tanner Manning going to ball out versus the Giants. And here's my prediction for Tanner Manning. 23 of 32, 310 yards, 4 TDs. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. He beat no. He didn't beat Pickett. He beat the Eagles. Jay Daniels beat the Eagles. He didn't beat Pickett. It's a team sport, kid. Daniels will get rocked. He had 5 touchdowns versus you the last game. Okay? Let's take a look and reset here. Okay, you feel good coming out of this Cowboy game. You feel good about your team. You feel good about it. Heading into the playoffs. Ready to roll. This last game's not going to mean shit. You're set right now. Okay? You're set right now. So this is who you are. How do you feel about your... Let's go through the teams before we reset here. How do you feel about your offense? Let's write this down here. I feel about the offense going into the playoffs. You're going to take this week off, most likely, depending on if they go for the record. You might take a half off. Yale says I'm good. How are you feeling about this offense? Best quarterback room in the NFL. 2903. Okay. The shittiest passing offense in pro football, but okay. Hurts needs to play above average. Play above average. So, yeah, you're saying he was average this year. Is that right? Okay. Right? Let's see here what Mark says. I'm not doing that. But, well, Hurts is injured too. I would say, if I'm not mistaken, of the 4 years starting, I think only one season he wasn't. Or you guys made an excuse up last year. His knee was hurt, right? So he's been hurt every year he's played. He's been hurt. Got hurt again. Right? Hurts can play above average in the playoffs, and the team will still win. That's what you're banking on. Because he's not really had great playoff games. He's had a Super Bowl that he was really good in. Name me another game he was good in other than the Super Bowl. Can you? Name me a game you thought Jalen Hurts in the playoffs, you thought he was good. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at this. So Jalen Hurts' playoff games. So 2021, he played last year. He was 23. The first year. He was 23 of 43, 53% completion percentage, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 258 yards. In 2022, he had 579 yards in 3 ball games. Okay, and 350 of them came in the Super Bowl. Last year, in 2023, he was 25 of 35, 1 touchdown, and he's 2-3 in the postseason. Try to explain to me where he's played great. Show me where he's played great outside the Super Bowl. He's played pretty decent. I wouldn't say great. Hurts can play average in the playoffs and the team win. Jalen Hurts last year without AJ and Smitty in the playoffs. What does that have? Dude, Mahomes beat you with Juju Smith-Schuster, and he's got nobodies at wide receiver. On that team right now, Worthy's going to get better. Rashid Rice is okay. I can't tell you who Josh Allen has. That's fucking irrelevant. Your quarterback can't have everything handed to him, and he didn't have AJ or Smitty. Are you trying to tell me that he can't overcome that? Well, then he's not good enough. If your quarterback needs those guys, he's not good enough to overcome it and win games. There's my problem. Jalen isn't Mahomes or Allen or Love. I mean, those guys don't have good players. They got good players. Okay? Rice is not just okay. Let's take a look at what Rashid Rice is doing and see what kind of ball player Rashid Rice is, what he's going to try to compare when it comes to Rashid Rice. Let's see here. Rashid Rice and receiving yards. Where is he? Where the hell is Rashid Rice? Kelsey's got 823, okay? Where's Rashid Rice? He's not even in the top 50? What are you talking about, guy? I must have missed him. Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a receiver in the top 50 outside of his tight end. He doesn't have one receiver in the top 50. I got to double check that because that can't be true. Kelsey at 36. That's insane. And they're fucking 15-1. So the Kansas City Chiefs are 15-1 with not one wide receiver in the top 50 in receiving yards. And you're going to try to tell me, okay, let's take a look at Josh Allen. How many wide receivers does Josh Allen have in the top 50? Let's take a look at it. Shakir at 38. This guy's got one receiver in the top 38. He's 38th in the top 50. And Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Let's take a look at another. Let's go Jordan Love. Reid, 39. And Kraft at 49. Let's take another look here. Baker Mayfield. I mean, right? Baker Mayfield. Let's see, in the top 50. Mike Evans, 26. That's it. He's got one wide receiver, and the guy's thrown for 45 touchdowns. So what he's saying is that you want Hurts to do something that only one quarterback has done in Philly, throw for $4,000? No, that's not what I'm saying. I want him to look better and be more versatile in the passing game and have more balance. Being able to throw it and run it and look like you did this past weekend. That's what I'm saying. Utilize the talent you're paying for. Did you really pay Jalen Hurts $50 million just to run the ball? Is that why you paid him? He has not improved since the 22 season. You're out of your minds. Last year it was number one in turnovers. This year the numbers are exceptionally down because you had another guy in the huddle. Could you imagine saying that to Patrick Mahomes? Well, hell, you know what? We got a better player in the huddle here. So, Patrick Mahomes, you're going to not perform for us. And we're going to lean on someone else. Can you imagine doing that in Buffalo? They got rid of people in Buffalo to lean on Allen more. I thought you're supposed to lean on your quarterback, not your running back. Aren't you supposed to lean on your quarterback? That's why you're paying him. I mean, I didn't realize all these guys here that you have here with, I didn't realize this. Does Philly have 2 in the top 50? I mean, even with the missing games. Philly, there's, let's see. AJ at 12. He's played 13 ball games, so he's missed 3 games. And Devontae, 34. They got 2 in the top 50. One of the very few teams that has 2 in the top 50. The only reason the Chiefs are 15-1 because of their defense. Granted, Holmes has been clutch, though. I think you might want to put the last one first, and then the defense has been great, too. Yes. Well, that's what organizations do. That's one of the reasons why you won 14 games, is because of your defense. Yeah, agreed, 100%. But they don't have to do all the things offensively. That offense and that whole entire unit is built around one man. Hey, by the way, when Travis Kelce leaves, hey, Philly guys, do me a favor. Was Andy Reid Yale? Who were the tight ends in Andy Reid's era when he was there? Were they pretty good? Who were the tight ends that they had in Philadelphia? Can you name me like the tight ends in that 14 years that Andy had? Okay. Brett, would you say he was good? Was Chad Lewis good? I believe he drafted, if I'm not mistaken, he drafted Travis Kelce, right? Okay. Was Brett good? What grade would you give Brett as a tight end in Philly with Reid? What do you think? Okay, great. A, okay. Kelsey's A. What would you give Chad Lewis? Zach Ertz, too, he drafted. A. Kelsey, A. So are you guys under the notion that Andy Reid's not going to find another tight end in Kansas City for Mahomes? Yeah, he may not be Travis Kelce, but for the life of me, the one thing Andy Reid can do is draft tight ends. He drafted a Hall of Fame tight end in Travis Kelce. Zach Ertz is a great football player. Brett was a great player. Lewis was decent. I mean, where in your right minds do you think that Patrick Mahomes is not going to have a top-flight tight end in the entire time in Kansas City? It's been a staple of Andy Reid's time as a head coach in the league that he doesn't have really great wide receivers. He has great tight ends for his quarterback. Andy Reid thinks the tight end position is more essential to his quarterback success, and they don't believe that in Philly. They only pay that in Philly because the most underutilized guy in the huddle outside the quarterback is the tight end, and you can't rely on him because he's always hurt. Okay? I mean, Andy Reid's going to have a tight end the entire time for Patrick Mahomes. He's drafted brilliantly at the position. Okay? I mean, he drafted Zach Ertz. He drafted Kelsey, Chad Lewis, and Brett. I have no worries about him drafting another tight end. You're actually comfortable with that guy drafting him because this is what he's done. Name me one wide receiver Andy Reid has ever coached that you thought was exceptional. Deshaun Jackson, yes. Who else? In his 14 years in Kansas City, do you notice they all look alike? Deshaun Jackson, Xavier Worthy, and Tyreek Hill. Do you think they all look the same? That's how Andy sees them. Speed. He'll teach technique. Macklin was a solid player. Wasn't great. He was solid. He was good. Not great. I'm talking about exceptional. You've never had exceptional wide receivers until this group right now. And one of them is a mercenary, AJ. The other one you drafted in Devontae. Devontae's the best wide receiver the Philadelphia Eagles have drafted since Mike Quick. Wait, Devontae Smith or Deshaun Jackson? I'll take Jackson. So Devontae's the second best. You didn't draft T.O., Tony. He was a free agent. Okay. Ertz came with Lane. Okay, then we'll take Zach off the list there. Okay. Okay. Harold Jackson in the 70s. A.J. Brown, T.O. Well, T.O. was a free agent, or was a sign free agent. Harold Jackson, I thought was a Ram, if I'm not mistaken. I thought he played for the Rams, Charlie, and then he came to Philly. It could have been vice versa, Philly, then the Rams. I forget how that worked. I thought he played with the Rams. We're talking 50 years ago. Okay? This group here, this wide receiver group, is the best receiving group you've ever had in your history. Even with Carmichael and with Quick and those dudes that played on the Montgomery teams with Jaws, this is the best group you've ever had. Okay, Philly, then the Rams. Thank you, Charlie. Okay, worked that way, went the other way. All right. All right. Okay. Okay. Fact study. Okay. Let's see here. Devontae Smith, my favorite draft pick of all time, even more than Djax. Djax is better than Devontae because he's more dangerous. I could do more with him. I could put him in special teams, and I can go deep. Devontae is a great player, and I love him too. But Deshaun Jackson's more deadlier. I would fear that guy getting past my guys. I think he's more of a threat on the field. And by the way, they're both great players. If you want to have Devontae, I think he's more reliable in pass routes than Deshaun. But Deshaun's speed, and I could use him in special teams. I mean, that guy won ball games for you as a receiver, and he won ball games for you in special teams. Smith doesn't win you ball games. AJ does. Okay? I mean, by the way, I think Smitty runs better routes. He's a great teammate, and I'm not saying Deshaun Jackson wasn't. He's probably a more skilled player than Jackson, but athletically, Jackson's just, Sills, would you take Djax over CD? Deshaun Jackson's a fucking weapon. Dude, he's a weapon. CD's awful good, though, man. I'd probably take him, I guess. I don't like saying that, but I probably would. I mean, Deshaun Jackson was a lethal weapon, man. And he beat I mean, the miracle in the Meadowlands, too. Watching him take that thing home with 6 seconds or 4 seconds left on the clock was special. He's a special guy, man. I'm looking forward to him coaching Delaware State. Congratulations. I think that's awesome. Okay. Hey, real quick. Cam Ward, University of Miami quarterback, quitting on his football team at halftime. You know, I don't mind you opting out for the NFL draft like Xavier Strepo did, okay? Even though I think that kid's stupid. He's a third rounder at best. The coaches had no idea he was going to do this, so he bailed on the team at halftime. I have no respect for that. Good luck to you, kid. I know you're going to be a great draft pick for somebody. I don't know if you're going to be a great player. I'm not really sold on you. However, for you to want to get that record and leave your team and bail on your team, and as soon as you went out, the Canes had nothing, and the other team was able to come back and beat them, I have no respect for that. Either you're in or you're not. I mean, again, if you would have done this before the game and not during the game, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. Finish what you start, man. You know, I always tell my kid that. You start something, finish it. Whether you like it or not, just finish it. Okay? It teaches you how to start an accomplishment and teaches you how to finish one. It just was really shitty. I have no respect for it. Last time I'll bring that kid's name up. Good luck to you, man. I hope that kid ends up doing some good things, but I have no respect for it. Okay? I have none. Hey, and real quick, to Xander's point on Travis Hunter and on Shedeur Sanders. Do you want to hear a stat? In 2 years, those guys never beat a top 25 ranked team. What'd you accomplish? Getting rolled by BYU? Hey, also, ESPN, do me a favor. Try covering a team that's killing that team a little more effectively and stop glazing over things racially so that it makes you look better. No wonder people don't fucking watch your network. You were getting annihilated by BYU, and you were getting annihilated. And all you were doing was glazing over what Deion did at Colorado. They were getting murdered by BYU. It was embarrassing. They're glazing over the two players on Colorado who had no impact in that game whatsoever. Ridiculous. By the way, our great friends at BetUS, speaking of bowl games, there's a ton of them. Okay? A ton of them coming up here on New Year's Day and New Year's Eve, obviously. Our good friends at BetUS, make sure you guys end up signing up for the YouTube 150. Great chance for you guys to sit there and really be partners with us as we are with them at BetUS. 150% on your sign-up bonus up to $2K. 125% in your second and third. That's betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Live wagering on all major games. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an Audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Let me tell you something here real quick before we end up rolling out here on this. I saw somebody post something in here saying that TCU stills, that's a lie. That's not a lie, dude. TCU finished the season out of the top 25. There's nowhere in there where they were ranked in the top 25 in last year's polling. They were not. Okay, Kansas State was the final. They were earlier in the year ranked in the top 10. They finished outside the top 25. Bullshit comment, actual facts. Colorado never beat a top 25 team, ranking-wise, in the 2 years that they were there at Colorado. All right. Guys, I got Detroit winning that game tonight. We appreciate everybody. Please hit that like button. Thank you guys so much again. 2 to 6 tomorrow. Big C, Big Joe, thank you guys so much. And we shall see you on the flip side.